Make it good. God damn it, you fucking bee.
Ring.
You're a wasp.
Silence. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, Simpson Merchants, and welcome back to Krown's magical dips and cave.
Get the fuck out of here. Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It's a lovely Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Yes.
What is it? Hump Day? It's Hump Day already? What the fuck? Is it really? It's Hump Day. Hey, happy Hump Day to everyone out there. It doesn't mean anything. Actually, it does. It is Volatility Day because Wednesday is typically the day of major moves, and that is very much upon us right now as we do see Bitcoin is in a bit of a short-term time frame range. And it is oh so interesting to read a lot of the things that are going on around the webs right now. But before that, a humongous announcement, the biggest announcement perhaps yet, and that is Paranoid has come out on stream. I'm gay. Well, I'm very fucking proud of you, my friend. And you know what? I support you. I just support you no matter what, sir. A very special day around all of the web right now. And back into the Krown Chat application, we can now go as we have discussed the most important topic of the day, and we can now get into now we can get into some magic internet money business, which is of great importance as well. Anyways, with that said, what do we see over here on the top end dashboard? We do see more or less a lot of the same things actually going on. Bitcoin dominance still maintaining its overall downtrend, actually taking another leg down, so I suspect that we might even have another lower high on that one in the making, or perhaps even as confirmed as of last night. On top of that, Fear and Greed Index still stuck at a 79, which is rather interesting as Bitcoin more or less holding the higher term time frame range. However, short term time frames did break down to our $48,000 target, and we can now go into the market data tab and see what we got going on over here, of which again, global funding rates, we are seeing an uptrend on this, yes, and that has been steadily increasing alongside Bitcoin's $21,000 rally from $29,000 all the way up to $50,000. However, I still do not look at this as too concerning right here. What is of interest to myself right here is open interest, which continues to increase, and that is coming alongside of price action, generally increasing on the higher term timeframes as well. Again, the higher term timeframe trend has been very much unbroken right now. So with that in mind, I do want to address a few things. I don't know if maybe I'm just getting old. I think I might just be becoming like an actual boomer, because I can't tell when people are trolling or they're actually being serious. But like, I was just reading some of the Discord comments earlier today, and it's like, oh my god, we're gonna spew again, fucking goddamn it, Krown, fuck you, man. It's like, what the hell? First off, man, Bitcoin playing within a medium-term time frame range has done very little here. In fact, we're still literally like caught within the same fucking range as before. So perhaps some people are stuck on the very low-term time frames. Hey, more power to you if that's going to be or that is your prerogative, obviously. But understand that if you are going to be, trading on like a fucking 15-minute, 30-minute, whatever it might be, and then you're looking at my analysis on like a 5-day chart, there's not going to be too much good carryover there, just, as an aside. Anyways, what else do we see over here that is of interest right now? Actually, the leverage ratio is starting to turn up here, which is a little bit concerning. I do not want to see that take out the prior July 20th high, as we will actually have a bit of reversal going on right there. But still more or less maintaining the downtrend, and the Bitcoin exchange's reserves also in the same sort of posturing as well. Is there anything else that we do want to be aware of right here? Not necessarily. We still have not seen any liquidation parties really be getting going over here. And for what it's worth, people have been talking about a short squeeze for a while, and realistically, the short squeeze was never really like a major thing over here. You can see that on our open interest chart that, well, basically there wasn't a humongous amount of positions to be squeezed, for what it's worth. And all of these are presumably long positions, as Bitcoin has been going up alongside open interest also going up as well. So if we are going to see any sort of a squeeze, it will be a long squeeze to the downside. I don't necessarily think that that's what's going to be going on exactly at this exact moment. I think that this market is very, very interesting right now, but we're going to be going over that soon enough. Anyways, do we see anything new on the whale ratio? Yes, still maintaining its overall downtrend. Hash rate still maintaining its overall uptrend, which is good. And I do look at that as long-term, more or less, well, good for the general health of Bitcoin. Anyways, now it is time to go into the short-term timeframes for Bitcoin right here and discover what have we seen in the last 24 hours or so. So what did we say yesterday? Well, I think we were on CME chart yesterday. Yes, indeed, we were. And did I get rid of all my magical lines? I think I did, actually. What the fuck? Hold on. I do not remember delete. God damn it, trading view. Oh, well, okay. Well, we can do this rather easily. Once again, this is not a humongous deal right here. But basically, what were we looking at yesterday? We were looking at a bit of a range between, of course, our 49,800 high right here and about 48,000 bucks. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, nice. All right, it actually did come in. All right, so what did we say yesterday? Basically, we had this high right here, yes, and then we also had this little low right here. Bitcoin destroyed that low after first pointing out that hidden bullish evidence on the hourly, as we did identify. That was rejected, yes. Then we actually broke onto new lows, and then what was the targeted region from there? Around 48,000 bucks, of which we did smash that rather nicely, actually. Anyways, very, very short-term timeframes right now for Bitcoin. It does look like Bitcoin does want to once again retest the current lows. 47 about 7 looks like on the hourly right here. However, would I be looking for an actual break to new lows? Not necessarily just yet. I am still hesitant to get like medium term or up bearish on this price action, mostly due to the higher term timeframes of Bitcoin right here. And again, this pullback is coming on declining volatility, which I do look at as more or less, well, more of the same in terms of trend. Now, of course, the hourly actually is in a bit of a downturn right here. However, if we go up to the 4 hour, do we have a reversal just yet? No, we do not actually, especially on CME. Where can our next higher low come in around? Anywhere above actually 47,000 bucks is fair game for this one. And what do we see as far as momentum offset is populating for right now? If we do look at this as our prior 4 hour low and our current RSI reading right here, we actually will have potential hidden bullish evidence if Bitcoin can just essentially put in a low on a 4 hour time frame anywhere above about 47,500 or so. Anyways, we do see, of course, on our 12 hour and daily as well, that Bitcoin is just actually just kind of bouncing off the 10 simple right here as well, which is not anything too concerning. Again, I mean, Bitcoin is still maintaining an overall upside posturing and upside, or sort of just a general uptrend here. And more importantly, I've been seeing a lot of people call a rising wedge. Now, first off, wedges are, in my experience, the worst pattern, especially in cryptocurrency land. But this is also, as far as I can see, and tell me maybe I'm missing something right here. Perhaps I did not go to my kindergarten school drawings well enough, but I don't really see a wedge here. I mean, if you have a wedge, you'd see a converging topside resistance versus a converging bottom side support, something like this, of which we don't necessarily have that. I guess maybe you can kind of make it work if you do use wicks in this case, but typically don't have too good results with that. Anyways, the general rule that I've kind of come to in my career is that, look, if diagonal supported resistances are more or less, in my experience, bullshit. If it doesn't line up with the horizontal, it's probably not going to work. So I think that it's just better to deduce and go with the simplistic view on that one. And if we don't see that, then I don't necessarily look for, I don't necessarily look at it as valid in that case. Anyways, we do see of course, that we do have the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. This is actually on a bearish retracement from the current. Actually, no, I would be topping out right around there. No, we do technically have a bit of a top going on right here. So where this line up around, yes, we do see the 786 actually coming in right below 47,000 bucks. So if Bitcoin does break lower than our current low right now, which is about 48,000 bucks, a little bit lower than there to be fair, then yes, I would be looking for a little bit more than another $1,000 drop. However, understand this is still yet again another higher low on a 12-hour time frame, and of course it would be the same thing on the daily as well. Actually just testing into the daily 10 symbol right here, right now, of which we do have 2 drives of bearish divergence coming off the top, but this is coming in within the shallow end of the bullish control zone, which typically doesn't get too much continuation from that, especially only on 2 drives as well. You really want to see the big moves coming in from here. This is where you did see essentially Bitcoin actually put in the tops in April, May, before the massive 50 to 60% drop down right there. So this one right here, while I could very easily see a move down to just below 47,000 bucks, I wouldn't look at that as too concerning just yet. Again, we do see that volatility has been contracting this whole way through, so I do look at that as still within the context of the current trend as more likely to produce, well, more of the same. And in this case right here, where could our next higher low come in around? Well, anything essentially above 44,500 is yet again another higher low, and we could just kind of raise that up to give us a bit of a buffer zone. As obviously if you're going to have a higher low, it needs to be a little bit higher than that. Then we could say like 45,000 bucks in this case. Anywhere above there is fair game. So I suspect that the real question for a lot of people is, when do things actually turn around? When do things actually change? Well, in this case right here, it's again very, very well defined. Where's our last low? Basically 45,000 bucks. If we start to close daily deltas below there, which would also simultaneously be below the 21 on CME as well, then I would be looking for greater retracements, very likely down to about 42,000 bucks. But until that happens, I just do not find it very, very wise to be switching around my general view on Bitcoin as far as the medium and higher term timeframes go. Short term timeframes, absolutely, but we've covered that that, and I suspect that we've actually covered that rather well. If I don't mean to toot my own horn, but there actually has been some good opportunity right there because we are dealing with big numbers. I mean, Bitcoin can move $1,000, $2,000, and not really do all that much for the higher term time frame structure in this case. Anyways, going over here to the 2-day, we did just close this, or actually no, we have not closed this last night. We are going to close this tonight, and still I don't really see anything too concerning right here, to be honest with you. And the 3-day just closed last night, and what do you know, closing on new highs on this rally as well. That's definitely bearish, right? And then we also closed a 5-day as well, which was a big one. Of course, we already closed a 5-day the day prior on spot price action, but it's good to see CME follow through as well. And what do you know, looking like we actually do have yet again actually technically not a bullish engulfing in this case. We did not trade below the prior 5-day low, but still looking good as far as momentum oscillators go from this. So when I am talking about a 5-day, understand that I'm talking about over the next 5 to 10 days as far as looking for the general targets for that to be met. And in this case right here, 5-day RSI still more or less good. I love that rejection of the bearish control zone right there. Trading a bit of sideways right here is to be expected, yes, and still more or less holding the range and continuing with the overall uptrend. I don't really see anything majorly concerning until that is destroyed again below $45,000 if you're talking specifically about the higher term timeframes. And again, the lower term timeframe resolution points very well documented as well, $48,000 and then 47. Actually, nice little $1,000 increments right there, although technically speaking it's a little bit lower than that. It's more like 46,700 versus about 47, I think 8 it was. Anyways, we also do see 5-day volatility continuing to expand on the new tick. That is good. And we also do see 5-day Jewel also remaining with its upside posturing and actually hasn't lost any of its curvature there as well. So I do like that as well. Anyways, I believe we did close a 2-day perhaps on spot price action, which did actually have a bullish engulfing dildo on the 5-day right here. And again, I still really like look, even if Bitcoin is going to break down from here, which I actually don't think it is before trying a little bit higher, maybe another, or very likely another move above $50,000, it'd probably take at least another week or two before that could actually happen. Not necessarily like that it could actually happen. Obviously, price action, dude, whatever the fuck it wants to do, but I suspect that wouldn't be, the first sort of diagnosis on this. Anyways, what was I just looking at? Yes, a 2-day, I believe. Did we close that last night? We did close that last night. Again, could very easily come back down here, test around the 10 simple, and what is that? Just another higher low. I think that 2-day RSI kind of tells a story in this one. And just as an aside, again, I like to repeat this a lot because I think that the 2-day chart for spot price action is powerful. It's kind of similar to like the daily for CME price action. And the reason why I think that is, if I had to offer up an explanation, is probably because it might smooth out the weekend data a little bit more, and you will actually notice a lot of similarities between these two charts as far as momentum oscillators go. Anyways, on the 2-day right here, again, maintaining within the bullish control zone, good. Do we have potential hidden bullish divergence? No, we do not. That is actually maybe a slight tick against the BULAs right there. But overall, again, as long as it's kind of riding above that, I have no major issues with this. And I think the 3-day is closing tonight. Yes, indeed it is. And this one, well, not really too much to update right there. Anyways, let's go back down to lower term timeframes now, because this is actually starting to shape up to be rather interesting for the short term. Anyways, let's see, 4-hour Jewel starting to come down quite significantly. I want to see this turn white. If it does start to turn white, I would start to really look for a short term timeframe bounce. Let's see if that's being precipitated by any of the other lower term timeframes than this. And what do we see on the bi-hourly right here? Yes, we do see it actually has already turned white right here and turning back up. I don't see that cyan color just yet, but this is also coming alongside of a rejection of the bearish controls on 2-hour RSI as well. So I do like that setup. And if we go over here to our momentum charts, we can see that 4-hour RSI, or sorry, not 4-hour RSI, but 4-hour Stokes right here are coming down significantly. Now they're not going to be crossing the upside anytime soon, unless the Bitcoin does, bounce up literally $1,200 from this exact moment into the next 2.5 hours before the next 4-hour closure. But it doesn't necessarily need to do that. It just needs to hold the current low structure, and then that number will obviously come down on the next closure. And perhaps if Bitcoin is still holding this area, let's say around midday when the 12-hour closes. So that is, I believe, about 6 hours. Yeah, 6.5 hours from right now. Then I'd start to look at that as likely more playable to actually get a bounce back above about $49,000 for the short term. If we're looking at the bi-hourly, what do we see right here? I imagine it's probably already twisting up. Indeed it is. Again, this is coming alongside volatility rising as well right here, just overlaying these on the same chart. For all the people who are wondering what this is, like, it's literally just a volatility component added onto a Stoke chart. That's literally it as far as I'm aware. It's nothing more complicated than that. Anyways, 2-hour Stokes will remain to the upside as long as about $48,000. And if we do start to see see that alongside volatility really increasing above. I really want to see it get above 50 percentile. That's where things start to really, look a lot more interesting. Then I would be looking for that next sort of short-term move to the upside. And we can talk about general targets after we get through the hourly right here, which is already very much angled to the north side, as long as above 47,700. Man, my speech today is not good. I did not get a good night of sleep last night. It's raining like super fucking hard here today. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's so goddamn loud that it will literally wake you up in the middle of the night, especially alongside like the wind. It's getting to be that time of the year right here. Anyways, okay, so let's go back on over here and let's look at general structure and look at potential targets to the upside on a little bit of a bouncy bounce, of which short term looks like we do probably pop up 48.4 before anything else, but that doesn't really do too much for myself. Other than that, do we see anything of particular interest right here? We got the last little breakdown level right here. That's going to be, well, actually right around 49,000 bucks, which is rather interesting. And again, we are seeing BBWP at a very, 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 very low posture right now, literally below 5 percentile. So expansion from this level right here, very likely coming alongside momentum oscillators pointing to the north side. I would be looking for a bounce before anything else. Kind of similar to yesterday, bounce right here before anything else, and then look at the reaction. Here's the thing though, because we actually do have a bit of a downturn emerging on the short-term timeframes, it is very prudent to be aware of where that essentially would lead to continuation. So in this case right here, we do have lower lows, even up to, I believe, a 4-hour as well. Yes, we do have it up to a 4-hour right here. So where's our last lower high? That would be right here at about 49,800 or so. So as long as Bitcoin does, if Bitcoin were to top out below there once again, then yes, we do have a little bit of a short-term issue for continuing that downtrend. And that's at the point where I probably would be looking for that. Let's see, where is it going to be based off of right here? I need to go back to CME chart. That's at the point where I start to look for a move right around about 46,700 or so. Until that happens though, I would still be looking for more or less more of the same sideways market, kind of similar to yesterday, and just know where your risk is. Of course, we go back on over here. What would sort of negate this? Well, I think that the hourly actually gets this rather well right here. The 200 simple getting the last little spike low, and the retest right there actually looking decent enough. That is typically good enough for a short-term reversal, and I would be looking at that as a bit of a as a bit of an invalidation point as well, similar to what we had over here yesterday at 49,000 bucks. Anyways, in this case right here, if we do start to close below there, that's at the point where I would look for that next $1,000 drop. But again, that doesn't change anything for the medium or higher term timeframes, at least in the way they look at things, as trend is very much, unchanged. So with that said, I do think that people are getting, at least from what I see, a little bit, it's very interesting to see here, because Bitcoin, it seems like anytime Bitcoin even just like has a little bit of a downside sneeze, people get fucking crazy with it, when realistically Bitcoin, I mean, unless a Bitcoin does this right here, where it just goes straight fucking north, right? Where it just goes straight up. People seem to get very, 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 very on edge about, even a short-term downside move. Again, understand, if you're trading this market, you are trading an asset that's essentially 50,000 bucks, and a $1,000 move doesn't really do fucking much for any of that. It does buck his, if you want to use a good old saying right there. So, understand that, at some point, there will certainly be a very massive move. And when I say very massive move, I mean, not five, I don't mean $1,000. I don't mean $3,000. I don't mean $5,000. I mean $10,000 most likely. There'll probably be a $10,000 correction after hitting one of these more interesting upside targets. And are you going to be able to survive that if you're actually going crazy over, a $2,000 move that not even a $2,000 move that we saw yesterday, but a $1,000 move that we saw yesterday? Like, not anything all that interesting, to be fair. So keep that in mind. Perhaps people are a bit over leveraged. In fact, I'm sure of it looking at the statistics around the web here. Anyway, speaking of statistics, should we go look at the testnet account? Yes, we should. It's actually at its highest level that I think I have had it ever since creating it, at about 28.58 Bitcoin right there. P&L looking good. Still holding the $33,000 long. However, I will potentially cover this if we do fail to start to close short-term timeframes back above about 49,500. And sorry, that was the missing component of what I did not speak about in the very low term timeframes right here. If we can close back above the prior breakdown point, in this case, that would be about 49,500 or so. I would look at this as a bit of a short-term bear trap, if you want to even call it that. Just kind of, come back down, take out all of these over leveraged longs, and then continue on with the general upside with the same sort of targets in mind. I mean, nothing's really changed there for myself. I do still look at 51,500 as an area of interest right here. We kind of sold off on the very bottom side of that blue box target. That's completely okay. I'd still be looking for a short-term pullback somewhere around there. And then generally speaking, over the next 5 to 10 days, well, I guess it's more like maybe 7 to 9 days now. Does that sound right? I would still be looking, again, assuming that none of the other criteria, none of the other invalidation criteria is met, I would still be looking for that move probably into the mid $50,000 territory. I mean, I still look at this as more or less good, more or less fine. And that's really all that needs to be said right there. Anyways, let's go back on over here. Let's check out the medium and higher term timeframes as far as momentum oscillators go, because they are painting a little bit of a different picture if you do want to be a little bit more on the bearish side. Anyways, 12 hour, let's see if this lines up with CME. Okay, they do line up with CME. Okay, that's good. But I think we'll just stay on CME for uniformity here anyways. As far as the 12-hour stocks go, we actually will be crossing the downside officially for the first time ever since actually mid-August, August 16th to be exact. So more than a week ago, actually. That does not seem like it was that far ago. Yeah, about 10 days ago almost. If Bitcoin does fail to close this next 12-hour dildo back above 49,750, I think the daily is around the same posturing as well. No, it's actually not. 48,200 in this case would be the magical number to turn it back down. And I suspect that spot price action should be about the same. No, spot price action is very much different in this case. 50,150 is magical number for this one. And again, when in doubt, I do default to CME in this case. Anyways, as far as that goes, we don't have any other higher term timeframes closing today other than, I believe, the 2-day that was the 2-day for CME. And then was it the 3-day right here? Yeah, the 3-day right here will actually cross the downside as well with any sort of a closure below 49,600. So that does actually come in line with what we do see on the short-term timeframes as well, which is good confluence right here. And that essentially does say that if we do start to fail, especially today, I'd say within the next 24 hours, maybe 36 if you want to give it a little bit of an excuse right there. If we do fail to close back above about 49,400, let's say, or let's just make it 49.5 because it's easier to say, then I probably would be looking for that pullback first, probably another lower high somewhere right around here, and then we can start to look for that move to 46,700, very likely a bounce there, and then come back and reassess. Again, I repeat, you're not going to really hear anything different from myself or really anything like majorly bearish from myself until Bitcoin actually comes back down and starts closing daily dildos below, at the very least, a 200 simple, preferably below the last higher low right here. They're kind of about $1,000 away from each other right now. We could just say 45,000 bucks and cut it in the middle. If that starts to happen, then yes, I would be looking for greater retracements down to 42,000 or so. Very likely bounces there and then come back and reassess, because that would actually start to look a bit more like a legitimate bull trap, and perhaps even come into conflict with the hash Sherman's indicator signal that we identified way back in early August, I believe on the 7th of August confirmation, which does highlight the 3rd of August low right here, which is all the way down at 38,000 bucks. So understand the relationship between all of those and all of the different timeframes that were going on right here, because again, if you're listening to like a 5-day analysis and then doing your fucking trades on a 5-minute, which I don't really suggest that like you just use my analysis for that anyways, hopefully this is used in conjunction with whatever with whatever you yourself are doing, because everyone's strategies are different. We all have naturally different preferences for what we're looking for in a trade. Obviously, some people are very long term, some people are very short term, some people have different definitions of that, blah 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 blah. You know exactly what I'm getting at right now. Understand what relevancy that is. Again, if you're trading a fucking 5-minute, the 5-day probably not what you want to be looking at for whatever it's worth. Anyways, go check out Bitcoin dominance as well, just because I do think that it would be prudent to check that out today, as I suspect that we are. No, we did not put in another lower high. This is actually looking like a bit of a complex low down here. Man, this is looking all kinds of weird right now. I still actually would be looking for a bounce off this level. So if we are going to see Bitcoin dominance go up, meaning that Bitcoin is going to essentially lead the party and altcoin Bitcoin pairing is going to be very likely going down, maybe within the next week or so, as I do expect that this will get a move back up somewhere around about 46% before very likely putting another lower high right here. Then what does that imply? Well, it implies that Bitcoin's going to outpace the majority of the rest of the market. Not everything, of course, but the majority of it. And in that case, what would that essentially imply? Typically, we want to see that on Bitcoin's actual upside movement. So I'd love to see that alongside Bitcoin actually retaking and closing higher term timeframes above 50,000 bucks. If that does come to the downside, perhaps we actually do have a bit of, that would be sort of the next sort of thing I'd be looking for in the bull trap scenario. In fact, there is one big thing for bear here, right now. It's actually the most simple thing possible, but it's also the most powerful thing as well, and it is this. It is quite literally this. Look, put it on a line chart, take everything else off, get naked on these fucking charts. Don't even look at the goddamn volume, because the fucking yeah, let's get naked, baby. And here's what we got right here. Here's your weekly trend. Do we have an uptrend on the weekly? Actually, we do not. We do not. We do have, if you are bullish, a bear trap down around here. If you are bearish, we have a lower low right here. Both are correct as of right now. What would confirm the bearish view of this? Well, any sort of a lower high, basically below about 55,000 bucks, would do it for the bears, and we actually would have our first confirmation of an actual downtrend on the weekly for Bitcoin, which has actually been perfect since the dawn of fucking time for Bitcoin. Anytime that we've confirmed a trend reversal, that has essentially gotten a macro move to the tune of, well, usually 100% to the upside and usually like 50 to 70% to the downside. So, be aware right there. Now, do I think that that's what's happening right here? Probably not. But at the same time, should be aware of this. And could we confirm a weekly lower high on this exact week right here? I mean, in order for that to happen, we'd probably need to close below, like definitely below 45,000 bucks, probably more below about 43 to 42,000 bucks. But it is still there. So the Bears actually do still have one big things going for them. But I think I'll just leave it at that. And I actually do want to check now that we are on this pane right here. Let's see where the Gaussian channel is coming in at right now. Yeah, top side of the Gaussian channel is starting to really crawl up around 37,000 bucks or so on the weekly. Where is it on the daily? Daily is way the actually no, it just looks like it's way the fuck down there. It's actually currently twisting up right around about 40,500 or so in rise and over time. I suspect that soon enough it will be in line with the 55, but that's going to take another week or so. So if Bitcoin can just hold it without doing that, well, I still would be looking for the general upside targets to get hit. Is there anything else that I want to be speaking about on over here? Well, I suppose it should be known that daily MACD is turning down. It certainly is turning down right now, so that would be a little bit more on the bear side as well if you do want some reasons, some confirmation biases for that. But I would also say at the same time that ADR turning up right here is more or less a good sign, although we do typically see pivots at this level right here, and that's exactly where we're at. Let's see how the last few ones did. Well, this one right here obviously got this high. This one over here got this high. Yeah, that high right there, this high right there, for a little bit of a short-term downside move. Do we have this one over here? Yes, we did get a little bit of retracement from that, of course. But wait, no, that would actually be, yes, no, that is within the same context as this one. This one was actually a low, and these two were actually highs right there. So a little bit of a lagging indicator right there. Not something that I typically talk about on stream, but if we actually did start to see it turn down from here, meaning that if Bitcoin essentially does fail this current level, that's when I'd start to get a little bit more concerned. But for right now, no, I still stick with what I've been saying over the past, certainly few days, and it's still just kind of evolving from my current what's it called, posturing. Anyways, I think it's time to get onto the comments now. Let's see what we got going on. Holy shit, man! Is it a busy day? No, it's not a busy day. Okay, this is good. All right, a nice easy day to rest my voice. Let me take a sip of this water first and foremost, and then we'll get into the comments right quick. Myself says, damn, line chart analysis. The funny thing is that it's the most simplistic form, and it's probably one of the most powerful ones as well. It's not going to be the most sexy. It's not going to get you the best entries or the best exits, but it will get you the trend. And the trend is indeed your friend if you just let it be. All right, I've turned on the alerts so over here. So let's see what we got going on right now. BK, there he is. Luna, yeah, let's check out Luna. Luna's been one of the more interesting ones. See where this one is right now, and this would actually be a good one to record as well. And just as a bit of an aside right here too, before I get into this one, I was actually not planning on doing a stream today because I was actually feeling a little bit tired. But I wanted to do a stream today because I wanted to see what a lot of the altcoins are doing, because I'm not typically don't check them out on my own, and that can definitely help out the analysis on Bitcoin. And this one right here, I mean, this is looking pretty fucking good. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna record this one. Anyways, here we have Luna. I believe it's Terra Luna is the real name, versus the dollar. This one being requested by Mr. BK, and he's looking at a 4-hour daily and weekly. So this has been one of the better charts, consistently for weeks, maybe even like a month and a half now. Very, 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 very impressive right here. And would I still be impressed with this chart? Yes, absolutely. Actually, we are seeing a bit of a sideways consolidation in the format of a higher low structure right there. I suspect that a lot of people are going to be very, very scared of what the closure looked like yesterday, but realistically, without any fall through from that low, there is no at least downside target to be made in my mind. And momentum also just paint a significantly different picture right here as well. Hidden bullish evidence on the last daily low that is coming at a very high level right here, so I wouldn't expect too much from that. But let's see if that plays into the short-term timeframes, with which we can get into some invalidation points as well right here. Okay, this one makes it rather simple actually. And we actually already have it charted out, except to the top side. I would like to use this level right here because that is more appropriate for this time frame on the 4 hour. Anyways, what do we see? As long as Luna is riding above 26.5 bucks, I do look at this as more or less a reaccumulation phase. Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy. Doesn't look like the most obvious one of all time, but this is an altcoin after all. And when we actually zero in on this data right here, you will notice that the big volume and spike that we did see yesterday was actually to the upside right here. This was actually on new highs and then a bit of a pullback into another higher low. I don't see any major issues with that. And by the way, we will have hidden bullish divergence confirmed between this low right here and this low right here, assuming that it does confirm a local low right here. How would it do that? I just need to see a closure above 31 and about 31 and about a half bucks right there. Then we will have hidden bullish divergence pretty much around your prior all-time high in this case. And I'd probably be looking for expansion of trend alongside, I'd be looking for volatility, expansion of volatility alongside expansion of trend. Again, apologies. I am a little bit underslept from last night. It's too damn rainy over here. Here's what the low term timeframes like the hourly look like right here as well. Yep, a little bit more bouncy than not. Even the hourly jewel giving a little bit of a fresh signal. However, I would like to see the auto fib support that one as well, and hourly RSI, obvious consolidation right here, but I would still be giving the nod to the bulls as well. You also did ask about a weekly. Let's see where the weekly is currently at, and what is weekly looking like. Weekly looks, it's a little bit too early to kind of analysize the weekly, but it does look okay long term. Could we be seeing a general pullback relatively soon? Yes, I do think so. The question is, does this one gun for a new high first, or does it pull back first? And again, the sort of criteria for looking for a pullback is very well defined on this one, but let's go see what momentum oscillators would suggest. Well, this is not relevant on the 3-day. Daily will actually cross back onto the upside with any sort of a closure above 31 bucks. That would look really, really good. So I'd feel comfortable saying that if we do see a closure above 31 bucks today on the daily specifically, I would be looking for essentially another run to new all-time highs. 4 hour is already contracted all the way back to 33.72. So I'd essentially be looking for a little bit more sideways short term, as the hourly is in disagreement with this as well. Actually already pointed up above 30 bucks and 5 cents or so. Anyways, back on over here. Let's see what what are you saying back there? Elsa's speaking Finnish right now. Anyways, we did see the pullback, the initial pullback coming off the 1 spot 414, which is, not a big deal. However, it did pull back a little bit more than what I would have suspected on this one. So that would be a little bit of a warning signal. But again, I don't have anything bearish to say about this, or at least I wouldn't be looking for anything super bearish on this as long as you're above about 26.5 bucks. Below there, I would look for a nice retracement down to about 21. But for right now, if you do see a breakout, assuming that the criteria that we spoke about just before is met to the upside, I would be looking for a general float up somewhere around about 40 bucks overall. And that's probably where the general pullback comes from. And when I say general pullback, I mean like a greater pullback, as this one has been like a very impressive chart, no doubt about that. A very, very impressive chart, but very impressive charts, get pullbacks just like anything else as well. 2-day just looks like it's flagging out over here. So again, I do still favor the overall trend, and it is certainly very much been a lot of Luna's friends. So there you go, Terra Luna still looking sideways right there, and the levels are very much well documented. So there you go, sir. All right, cool. Let me get back into it over here. Charismatic says, big love as always. Hey man, big love to you as well. And I haven't seen you here before, so good to meet you and welcome, sir. Welcome. Sorry, watching you since early 20. So you've been watching since 2018. You've never said a thing. God damn it, man. What the fuck? Anyways, all good, man. Curious on your thoughts on ADAX, a Cardano chain DEX. Okay, so it's like a derivative of Cardano, it sounds like. ADAX. Okay, it looks like we can only chart it versus Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'm going to choose Bitcoin in this case. You are looking at a what? No time frames given. God damn it. Anyways, for what it's worth, it looks pretty fucking good here. I think you already know that, but I don't really know what time frames you're going off of right now. Where does your short-term time frame trend come into a little bit of an issue? That would be below this level right here, and also kind of like your little prior breakout as well. That would be below about 5,400 satoshis. Until that happens, I look at this one as sloppy sideways, and probably does gun for one more high. It does kind of look like that on the hourly right here. So look at this as more or less healthy-ish, I do suppose. Looking at it daily, not really getting too much from this, anywhere below yesterday's low. And then yes, I would look for a decent retracement down to about 5150 or so. I don't know if that's relevant to you or not. Higher term timeframes like the weekly, there's nothing really bearish about closing on new all-time highs. I do understand that this would technically be the prior all-time high over here, but that was looking like at least your ICO dump so I don't know how much faith I'd put into that. This over here is still looking, you know, decent enough, and we do see that momentum also just do support that as well. Hidden bullish evidence on daily RSI into new all-time highs. Yes, there will be bearish evidence on the other side, very likely forming. We already have a slew of lower highs right there. The third one probably does produce the next major pullback, but do we continue further on to the upside first before that pullback? Probably yes. So I suspect that you probably got one more breakout here, and then very likely a big pullback. And at that point, you know, we can talk about pullback targets, but it's just not wise to talk about pullback targets until we get that first. Or if we do break the low term time frame range, you know, that would also be the next sort of, I wouldn't say nail in the coffin, but just, you know, more supportive of a pullback first, and then reanalysis probably next week. I don't think it'd be too much between now and then, just maybe going sideways on the lows. Anyways, let's see. Mr. UK says B Pro USD on the daily and weekly, please. Sure. Okay. We did this one yesterday. I think we did. I think we did. We got KuCoin over here. We got KuDerp over here. Let's see. Daily. Still fine. Like I don't understand. This is making me a bit more confident in Bitcoin. Yes, these rallies are getting extended. Yes, I don't think that they have too much more to go, but this is not bad. This is not bad right here. I don't see anything bearish about this as long as you're above 0.0131 or so. Just wherever the 4-hour 55 is. This level right here is what I'm essentially referring to. If you do take out that level, yes, I would look for that's at the point where I start to look for a decent retracement down somewhere around actually almost a cent even, 1.05 cent actually. But for right now, sideways and up is the name of the game, and we do have yet again another drive of hidden bullish evidence very likely forming here. If this can confirm a local low. How would it do that? Need to see a closure back above about 1.5 cent or so, and then yes, I'd be looking under the retest of this current high on this rally, and then very likely extension from there. See what the 5-day looks like. I'm just not bearish on a chart that looks like this right here. Overall, I suspect that this one probably even guns up towards just north of 2 cents maybe in the next couple weeks here. Not bad right there, but you know, there's going to be ebbs and flows obviously. And actually a pretty decent history on this one as well. So perhaps I shouldn't call it a shit coin. It's actually decent, I suppose. Justin Meyer says doggy USD, the 4-hour daily. Oh dear Lord, should I record a doggy one? Get the fucking doggy people involved in this. Oh yes, okay, we are seeing doggy come down, which is good because I want to play my fucking songs, and Empire and Mr. Faraz need their work to be appreciated by the world. Or perhaps I'll just put it up with the caveat, well, let's just make the target a little bit higher or something like that. But this one actually does look like it's topping out here. This is probably the first toppy chart that I've seen today. In fact, anyways, we will record this one. Here we have doggy versus the dollar, or as some people know it, Doge, whatever the hell that thing is. This one being requested by Mr. Justin Myers. He's looking at a 4-hour and daily. This is actually the first toppy-ish chart that we've seen today, in my opinion. We do see that this pullback, if you do want to give the bulls a bit of a, I guess a bone here, is that this pullback is coming on declining volatilities, and we actually do still have higher lows going on in this one as well. But if we go down to the lower term timeframes, we are initiating a bit. No, we do not have a downtrend on the 4-hour just yet. Coming back down to retest around your prior lows, typically not the best sign, but we can mark that off relatively easy right here. And if we do start to break below there, which is 28.5 cent, I would be looking for a decent size retracement, very likely all the way down to a quarter even, and a bounce there. But before that, I would be looking for a bounce off this level short term, very likely somewhere back above 30 cents or so, just barely. But overall, the best that I think that this one does for the short and medium term is sideways within this overall range. I wouldn't really necessarily get excited to the downside as long as you're above 20.5 cent, and I wouldn't get excited to the upside as long as you're above 33.25 or so right there. Above 33.25, I would be looking for a bit of a breakout, and for the next sort of upside targets to be met, very likely somewhere around 36 cents or so. I'm talking about right around here. Perhaps if things get really, really crazy, as well they can, I suppose, in doggy coin land, 37.25 right there. But overall, this is the first chart that I do have some decent reservations on today. 5-day chart is looking like what? Is looking like a little bit of a local high right there. And if this is a local high, do we have reversal on trend confirmed on the 5-day? Actually, we would. We have a high right there. We have a low right there. So this would be your next lower high right here. And a rejection of the not of the bearish, but of the bullish control zone in this case as well. I don't necessarily think that that's what's happening right now, or I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that that's what's happening right now, because at the end of the day, whenever it comes to altcoins, you have to be looking at Bitcoin and just essentially, saying the same old, which is whatever Bitcoin does, altcoin is more or less going to mirror in a more emotional way. Over here on momentum, also to see if we have anything that gives us a bit of a further bias. Hourly Stokes up as long as above 29 cent. Yes, I do do like that. So short term, very likely up. 4 hour will fall through in that same venue alongside volatility expanding here too, with any sort of a closure above 2950 or sorry, more like 2960. Daily is doing what? Actually nosediving right now. But guess what? You will see upside resolution with any sort of a closure above 3350. And to be fair, this is coming on declining volatility over here as well. So I would give this one the benefit of the doubt. Again, I think that this chart's just sloppy because it's an altcoin in this case. But the areas are actually well defined here too. So I wouldn't necessarily, or at least I'd hold my breath on getting bearish on this one until you actually officially break below about 28.5 cents on, no less than a 4 hour closure. Maybe even a 2 hour closure could do it. Yeah, you could probably do it on a 2 hour closure here as well. A little bit of slight bullish divergence right here as well, although not necessarily like the most powerful variety of that. So there you go, doggy coin holding it sideways, and understand your levels right there. And hopefully that was helpful, sir. King Cosmic says, hello, sir. Hello, I am sir, and you are hello. Spy, please, 1 hour daily. Let's do it, baby. Let's fucking do it. Let's see where traditional marks are at right now. Are we still seeing the same old, same old? Is it still all-time high party no matter what? And it is! Holy shit! Wait. Hey, here's the real analysis. Here's the real fucking analysis on this. I'm sure that people are calling this a top right here, and it might be a little bit of a short-term top. Let's see. Is it a short-term top? I actually did say that this one was going to retrace a little bit down yesterday. I think I probably said somewhere around 44.70 to 44.69. We didn't quite get there. We got down to 44.75. Anyways, here's my chart over here. Yeah, this is the big one. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. All you do is load in this link right here, federalreserve.gov, and look at their monetary policy recent trends. And if you can look at their recent balance sheet trends, all you need to do is follow that. I know that this sounds simplistic. I know that this sounds silly, but I actually do literally believe this right now. I watched a really good video, by the way, on the kind of conundrum going on with the reverse repo markets, and like the Fed kind of getting involved with the stock markets and or just with companies in general. It was on a channel called Economics Explained, I think. Anyways, I linked it in the Discord yesterday, and hopefully some people got it, but it was really fucking good kind of explaining this. Anyways, as long as it continues to increase, I would expect the price action to continue to increase to the upside as well. As simplistic as it sounds, that has been extremely fucking true over the last like 12 years or so right here. There you go, man. There you fucking go. Anyways, you can see that this big increase in 2020, by the way, was coming in where? Right fucking here. Right fucking here, baby. Right fucking here. That's where that started. Look at price action again. That's where that started. Just straight fucking up, man. Anyways, at some point, yes, we are going to see a pullback in this. I suspect that this still probably happens a little bit later this year. And when I say pullback, I mean like a legitimate pullback. I mean like a 15 to 20% correction in this one, which is considered like an actual crash in traditional markets. Anyways, as far as it goes on the weekly, making new all-time highs is not necessarily bearish. Especially with the way that weekly RSI is kind of just chugging away, chugging along there in the bullish control zone. And we do see that this is also going to start to look for expansion on volatility as well, as we actually do have a positive slope on the moving average for this. So I do suspect that this still has a little bit more. I know, again, this looks fucking insane, but and there will be pullbacks on the short-term timeframes, obviously. But even on the hourly right here, guess what? We just confirmed, or sorry, we have not confirmed, but we are in the midst of confirming within the next 8 minutes with any sort of a closure here or higher, hidden bullish divergence yet again, which would have a short-term target back up somewhere around about 44.85, maybe even as much as 44.90. And at that point, this is just continuation of trend. Even hourly, Jewel's starting to flatten out there as well, although not necessarily even going white just yet. And 4 hour is, if this thing does want to pull back, 44.60 is where I'd be looking for. How would you judge a pullback target? Any sort of a closure on an hourly below about 44.76. These margins are fucking tight right here, though. It's almost not even worth trading, at least in my opinion. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful, sir. But there you go. The Fed balance sheet is the key, my friend. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but it is. It's like the moons, except a little bit more applicable, perhaps. Anyways, we got Paul F. Hey, what's up, man? Finally moved the family cross country to Los Angeles. Why there? So that I don't have to stay up till 2 a.m. watching every night. Well, perhaps that's why. But goddamn, man. I don't mean to talk shit about your city, man. I grew up in San Francisco. I fucking hate San Francisco. But the only thing that I hate more than San Francisco is Los Angeles. I think it's so overrated. Sorry, man. Sorry. I shouldn't do that. Especially when you freshly moved over there. You're probably very excited about it. Look, Los Angeles is a great place. There's all sorts of things to do. You got a lot of smog to breathe in. And you got places to drive because you can't fucking walk anywhere. Hey, maybe that's what you like. Teach their own, right? Anyway. Sorry. Okay. Apologies, man. I say that in jest, sir. I say that in jest. All right. You're looking at XRP 4-hour and daily? Sure. Let's see. Where's my XRPP over here? And I'm very curious to see what this one's doing today. Okay, interesting. Does look like we did. What do you fucking know? What do you fucking know? All right, let's record this one as well. This one's actually a really, really good one right here. Okay. Here we have Ripple, symbol XRP versus the dollar. This one being requested by Mr. Paul F. Freshly minted in Los Angeles, it sounds like. Or maybe that's Louisiana. I'm going to guess it's Los Angeles. So, and he's looking at a 4-hour and daily. So we looked at this one yesterday and we did say, hey, look, as long as this thing's essentially put in 4-hour lows above 111 right here, what do we have? We have essentially a reaccumulation formation right here in the format of an ascending triangle. And what do we have? Something like that. Actually, it looks like my proverbial upside trend line from yesterday was not the right one. It's fucking, silliness right there, but that's okay. That's what happens when you draw trend lines before they actually emerge. It would naturally be something a little bit more like this, which does mean we would have a different, slightly different, actually, very ever so slightly different measure move if we do get the upside resolution for this. Again, just because this is an ascending triangle does not mean it's 100% destined to break out to the upside. But if we do see a closure or just a higher high above your 23rd of August high, which is essentially about the same at about 128 and 120 and a half, let's say, then yes, I would be looking for the measure move to be hit, and I would be looking for a technical target all the way up to about 145 to 146. With that said, we do have a proverbial local low right here in the making, and if we do confirm that, we will have hidden bullish evidence between our last lows right here and this low right here, printing a much lower low on the RSI, which with higher lows on price action right here. And if that does get confirmed, which would be confirmed with any sort of a closure on a 6-hour dildo above about 119, could we use a lower term time frame than this, perhaps a 3-hour? Yes, indeed we could, and that would be about 119 and about 119 and a half to 119 and a quarter. Then I would be looking for a short-term move back up to about 1 1/4, but that is still just ranging activity. However, in the event that you actually do see a breakage below your current low structure, then I would call this a breakdown, and I would be looking for targets down to about $1. I don't think that that's what's happening, or at least not happening first before a short-term bouncy bounce here. And if we do go over to our momentum oscillators, I suspect that we are probably turning up the short-term timeframes, as this one does look a little bit more bouncy than not on the very short-term timeframes. That is, yep, hourly twisting up as long as above 114. Bi-hourly is in the process of twisting up right now. 116, the magical number right there, which it is a clean cent and a half above right now. And 4-hour will turn back up with any sort of a closure above 121.8. That will obviously move down if on the next closure as well. If we can just hold it right here, that's going to start to look at least decent for a short-term move back onto the upside. Again, tentative areas would be about 123 and a half to 1 1/4, depending upon how aggressive you want to actually target something like that. Anyways, as far as the daily goes, though, it should be known that the daily, this signature on the daily typically does suggest downside, but you'll notice that you'll notice that the resolution for this at 128 and a half is the same resolution for a breakout of the top side of this range, meaning that if you actually do fulfill that condition, I would be very, very comfortable saying that this one's, going to actually see a continuation phase from here. You'd have yet again another higher low on the daily, by the way, as well. And at that point, it probably doesn't happen today. If it is going to happen, probably tomorrow or Friday, that is. I wouldn't necessarily be just targeting like 145 or so. I'd probably be targeting somewhere more around like 150 to 155. But again, a long ways to go for that one. Know where your risk is, know where your levels are, and hopefully that was helpful, sir. There you go. Nice one. All right, cool. To Love It All says, Krown, how are you? I'm a little bit underslept, man. Probably slurring all my words, but that's okay, man. We're going to get through it anyway. So hopefully you're doing a little bit better than that. A few months ago, your long-term analysis included a bear theory that hinged on a weekly MACD crossing down. Has that theory diminished in strength because of the blue buy signal we got? That's exactly what I explained on the long-term analysis video that I uploaded maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago now. That's titled "The Low Is In." Now, it is a clickbait title. Obviously, it's only it's a probabilistic statement, but I do look at that as superseding that event. That does not mean that Bitcoin can't get pullbacks. It just means that if I am running with that assumption, which I am actually, I would not expect Bitcoin to go down and close below the prior daily low to that blue buy signal, which is about 38,200 or so. If that happens, then fucking send this thing to goddamn hell. But until that happens, man, I do put that fundamental indicator amongst several other things, which are also discussed in that video, ahead of quite literally just the biweekly MACD. But as we saw earlier, it's the weekly trend that it actually supersede which would matter more than anything else to myself, anyways. So it just depends. Like for right now, there's more in the Blue Law's court, and that really hasn't changed ever since $38,000, or I guess it kind of got a little more stronger above $40,000 especially. But until that criteria is met, I do run with that assumption. Personally speaking, of course, you're free to do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just sharing my views on this market for better or worse, and that video is there for your viewing whenever you want. It's about 40 minutes long, but I do think that it is a bit important, especially if you are making big decisions, because there are a lot of things to be aware of that do kind of coincide with that. Anyways, Nimalan says, "Hey Krown, what's up, man? Do you mind doing a week month on Patera?" Okay. What symbol is this? I'm just going to type it in here. It's a, god damn it, it's a fucking crypto. Is there, okay, look, man, things hasn't been around long enough to do a weekly or monthly. It's fucking bad though, man. It's very, very bad. This is like the worst chart we've seen today by far. This is god awful as far as charts go. But I don't, okay, is this the one that you were trying? Okay, PE. Yeah, this is the same ticker. This is against Ethereum, so maybe the dollar parent isn't as bad, but this is a pretty fucking bad chart for what it's worth. While everything else is rallying to the moon and beyond, this thing only goes down actually. But you can always do this simple trick there, and now you go. Now you got a bullish chart. The problem is you can't actually spend it. Yeah, man, this is pretty bad. I can't give you a good faith opinion on this on the weekly or monthly because it's barely even got. It doesn't even have a year here actually, especially on the monthly, but weekly is bad enough. Daily, look, you're gonna have bounces along the way, probably even bounces from here, maybe up to like whatever the fuck that number is right there in front of my face. What is that? We got 70, so it's 4.8 million ethers or whatever the fuck. But I have no reason to expect that this thing's reversing anytime soon. This is just a monstrosity of a chart. All bounces fail, all bounces get sold, and I suspect you will get more of the same until we have some major change of behavior right there, which is certainly very much unprecedented on the charts. Henry Monaco says, I cashed out Mara at 38. Nice. All right, could you do a 4-hour in daily? All right, let's see what you did. It sounds like you had a nice little trade there, and perhaps you are maybe getting ready for more. Okay, so you basically sold the retest of the resistance right here. I like this chart, man. I like this chart. Now, I actually, in my personal trading, I do exactly what you would have done right there. Now, I probably wouldn't have taken off the whole position, but 2/3 of the position at the very least, maybe even a little bit more than that. In this case right here, I actually do think that this one's getting ready to bust out. It's getting ready to bust. It's gonna fucking bust. What are you laughing at? It's gonna bust. Anyways, it's gonna bust, bro. Gonna just lay it down on this resistance and bust out. Fucking dumb. Anyways, you see that volatility is starting to expand from a very I'm gonna bust some nuts in your face. Anyways, lol. Anyways, I've been spending way too much time in Skyrim VR, by the way. It's fucking great. I have just learned my first dragon shout. Anyways, I'm going to start busting dragon shouts all over your face. Anyways, we do see volatility start to expand from a very, very low level. This consolidation is very much mature. We just saw we don't see a signal on daily Jewel, but I'd like to see that get nice and cyan right there. More importantly, daily RSI breaking back into the bullish control zone. This is looking very, very good right here. I don't know if it necessarily breaks today, but this looks like a very good setup for more actually. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing make a leg up around 50 to 51 bucks, maybe over the next couple weeks here. Weekly RSI really tells the story in this one. A couple drives of bullish or hidden bullish divergence in this case, reaching back up for the bullish control zone right there on the weekly. And actually even weekly vol trying to turn up right here too. It's looking good, man. How's the monthly shaping up into the, okay, we have a silver cross in the making. That is going to inevitably be happening with any sort of a closure, especially here or higher. I would expect that move to probably happen before end of month. However, this is a good setup right here. I do think that this one probably does push through. Let's see how lower term timeframes are operating. Yeah, lower term timeframes kind of telling the story in this one as well. Just freshly back in the bullish control zone. I think that this one could actually probably do it from this territory. Now, if it does reject once again, then you know my general philosophy on that, Mr. Henry. I'd probably be looking for a retracement back into the middle of the range here. Probably try for another higher low, but this one is pretty mature. So I do think that it's relevant to say that it probably could actually pull the trigger right there. Korean Batosai says, Elsa, if you do a face reveal, I will send you 1 billion Bitcoin just for you. There's not even a billion Bitcoin, man. How's that going to work? Just a billion? Are you fucking poor? The hell? Kidding, sir. Orgoth Dongri says, greetings from Germany. Hey, what's up, man? Would you please, I actually really like Berlin. It's a really nice place, Berlin. Very underrated. Would you please check out Ethereum over the short and medium period? Sure. To me, that means like a 4-hour and maybe even a daily. But we can pull it up over here and maybe do a general overview. Maybe I can just record this one. Okay, cool. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this one out over here. Maybe do we want to start on a daily first, or do we want to start down here? Let's start on lower term time frames first. This one's actually rather easy right here. Okay, here we have Ethereum versus the dollar symbol ETH, and we are looking at the short and medium term time frames as requested by Mr. Orgoth from Germany, and thank you for that, good sir. Anyway, short term time frames right here. I would be looking at a 4-hour right now, and essentially we do have a bit of a range going on. I suspect that we have pretty much the same things as yesterday, actually, as far as ranging behavior goes. But the question is, does this one bounce from here, or do we actually trade a little bit lower first? As technically speaking, do we actually have a lower low right there? Actually, we do, ever so slightly. I do want to see where this one is on momentum charts first before we go through the general rigmarole here, just out of curiosity. And what do we see? Okay, so Stokes were coming down all the way on the 4-hour alongside volatility throughout this whole little consolidation on this pullback. But this pullback does, at least on first pass, look like it is more or less healthy. Again, whenever we're talking about altcoins, even Ethereum, it's more important to be looking at whatever Bitcoin's doing. They're going to mirror, generally speaking, whatever Bitcoin's going to be doing. However, I would be looking for a short-term bounce on Bitcoin with that in mind. Anyways, this one will turn back up on the 4-hour with any sort of closure above 33.35. It's probably not happening on this first closure, but that will naturally come down after the next 2 hours when we get this next 4-hour closure. Hourly is already twisting up as long as above 31.82. Good. Buy hourly is there as well. 32.02, and 3-hour is going to be trying with any sort of a closure above 31.94. With that in mind, we can go back on over here. And if we do start to play that, I would be looking for another move back around about 32.65 or so. But don't make no mistake about it. This thing's just kind of trading sideways, and I don't really think that there's too many interesting things going on in this one in particular, to be honest with you. Anyways, if we do go over to a 12-hour or daily, of which I would kind of consider these like the more medium-term timeframes right here in comparison to a 4-hour time frame. Let's say that we actually do start to, well, we should just go off of the range analysis right here. Okay, in this case right here, as long as Ethereum is above about 3,100 or so on a 4-hour delta closure, we could even say 3,120 on a 4-hour closure or 3,100 on a wick in this case, then I would be looking at this to produce a bit of sideways and very likely an upside resolution. Again, BBWP telling the story in this one, and 4-hour RSI just is essentially rejecting the bearish controls right there. I don't think it's going to be doing all that much, more or less sideways when this range is healthy for the long term, but I suspect a little bit boring in the short term, which I don't know if you're, angled towards that or not. I'm curious if we have any sort of bullish divergences on an hourly right here. Yeah, ever so slightly actually. No, actually no, we did make higher lows right there, so technically not. Anyways, going back onto the 4-hour right here. If we were to break below about 3,100, I would look for an extension down around your last actual lows right here, which is all the way down a little bit below $3,000. So that would be rather concerning if it does choose the bottom side path. But again, know where those ranges are. And to the upside, well, it's pretty much the same thing as yesterday. 33.50 going to be the magical number. Very, very easy to remember on this one. I think the daily also gets this one rather easily as well. If we do see any sort of a downside move anywhere around the 21 exponential average, is going to be an obvious bounce area at the very least on first pass. That's going to be just below 3,100 in this case. So kind of in line, in line with our lower term time frame analysis. And again, where's your last higher low coming in around? $3,000. So if it actually does start to choose a downside resolution, as we did identify earlier, then that would be very, very concerning with closing, especially a daily below $3,000. Until that happens, though, I do look at this one as more or less likely to go sideways and probably have an upside resolution. Again, this whole pullback, this whole consolidation is coming on declining volatility. So when you see something like that, and still within the context of higher lows, it's very difficult for me to get like quote unquote bearish on that. Now, if Ethereum does break below $3,000, which again, I'm not necessarily leaning towards and probably going to be precipitated by Bitcoin anyways, if it is going to happen, then I would be looking for a decent sized pullback all the way down to like 2750 or so, and look for a bounce there and then come back and analysize it later. But again, keeping in mind the 5-day right here, not necessarily bearish on something that looks like that, at least on first pass. 2-day, a little bit concerning right there, yes. But overall, if you're just focusing on the lower term timeframes, I do expect bounce first and more or less sideways for the BULAs with a resolution above 33.50. Now, if you do see the upside resolution, which I don't think would be happening today anyways, or maybe even for that case tomorrow, then I would be looking for a nice leg up actually all the way to 3,600 or so before the next sort of short-term pullback. But right now, sideways at best for the Bulas. If the bears want to take over, you will know below about 3,100 or so, and that's where things start to get a little bit more nasty here. But for what it's worth right now, more or less trades with Bitcoin, and sideways is the name of the game. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. There you go. All right. Trent Norden says HTR and ZS. Just one, sir. We have a lot of people here today, and it is a little bit, I know that you don't intend for it to be, but, and you just want to like see what you want to see. But as is normal, of course, as is normal, we do have to keep in mind that, everyone else, like, we need to make time for everyone, of course. 4 hour daily, 4 hour right here. Still operating at higher lows. I don't have any major issues with this one just yet. See what the daily looks like right here. If this one does want to have a little bit of a tumble, I'd be looking anywhere around about 75 cents or so. This one is a bit toppy, however, kind of similar to Doggy Coin. This one would not be one of the most strong ones. See, what does a weekly look like right here? Weekly's not terrible. At least I don't have an issue with this one this week, that is. Hourly, bounce first, probably bounces back up anywhere around about 87 cent. If you can start to close back above 87 cent, you will have a local low confirmed here. Also, bullish evidence, regular bullish evidence, I should add, on hourly RSI. Buy hourly would follow through as well, and I'd probably extend that target to 90 cents, and this would just look like trend continuation. So again, while it does look a little bit toppy on the daily, I would still not front run any sort of reversal on this one as long as you're operating above about 78 cent. As long as you're above there, I essentially look at this one as kind of like a sloppy shitcoin, kind of going to very likely trade sideways and up. If it does break this level, again, 78 cent or so, I would be looking for a nice deep retracement down to about 66 cent in this case. So there you go, sir, for Hathor, like the lifter, like the power lifter. Anyways, good name for a token, I guess. Not the most interesting chart, though. Buried Alive says, good day, Doc. That's me, ERSDL. What's up, man? Coin on the 4 hour and daily. Hug Elsa for me. I will, sir. I will. ERSDL, but I will do it with the mask on, more importantly. Anyways, on QDERP, and what are we looking at? 4 hour and daily, was it? I think it was a 4 hour and daily. It was. Okay, this one, if I recall properly, long term, this one actually had a decent enough chart. Did so off the retest of its prior all-time high. Okay, that's, I suppose, to be expected in this case. What are we doing short term, however? This one's very sloppy on the daily. Short term, however, actually is a lot easier to analysize than the daily, funnily enough. Typically, you don't see that. Typically, it's the higher term timeframes in this case. But you got a nice, nice invalidation point for this somewhat losing its bullish structure, I suppose, on the medium and higher term timeframes, especially. With any sort of a closure on even a 4 hour time frame below about 27.5 cent. If that were to happen, I would look for a deeper retracement all the way down to 22 cent before the next like general bounce. But for right now, this is looking like it probably does hold up here. We are rejecting the bearish controls on right here, and we actually will have 1, 2, 3 drives of we'll just have 2 drives of bullish evidence in this case. We did close on ever so slightly lows right here, and we are making higher lows on RSI. So I would have short-term targets if that does get confirmed with any sort of a closure above 29.75. Back up around 31 to 32 cent or so, and this would still, similar to Ethereum. Like, I think best case for Bulas right here is sideways and up over time, but more or less sideways in the short-term timeframes, which sets it up for a more long-term move, perhaps later, but not very unlikely this week. And if it does choose the downside, well, targets are very easy to define. I would look for an interim bounce, however, if it does choose a downside before 22 cents at around a quarter, actually even, wherever the 55 is on this chart. Weekly, yeah, hard to make much out of this. If anything, it would be a little more on the toppy side, but other than that, man, kind of a sloppy chart. Short term, very likely bounces here. Come back to it after that. Best case for Bulas sideways, at least in my opinion. Robert Como says, thanks for recommending Yomi Park on Joe Rogan. Yeah, man, fucking very eye-opening, man. Extremely eye-opening. Some of the crazy stuff I've ever heard. It's wild to know that is actually going on in today's day and age. It's wild. Like, while people are, while we're concerned with all of our first world problems, there's people who have real issues, man. It also makes, at least for myself, it makes me very grateful for just things like working in the fashion that they are. They're not perfect, maybe, but that's okay. We can always work towards that. But goddamn, man, yeah, it's like you literally just said it right there. It made me very appreciative of my freedom. Yeah, man, things can change around fast, and that is very scary. And we just have to remind ourselves that things have not naturally been like this over the course of history. This is actually a very small snippet of history where, you know, people have been generally free, especially in the first world. I mean, that really started with the U.S. in 1776, and that wasn't everyone who was free. I mean, that didn't really happen until like basically like the 19th century maybe, or the 1900s. I would guess. Anyways, sorry. Can you check out Videocoin USD daily, weekly? Sure. All right, Videocoin. I don't think I've ever heard of this. Videocoin? What the fuck? Videocoin? Sir, am I being trolled? Is Elsa trolling me right now? Are you trolling me? I do not see Videocoin, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, there is Videocoin if I literally type in Videocoin. All right. Okay. 2derp is the one to go to for this one, and hourly looks good. Actually, one of the better short-term time frame charts that we've seen today, and actually pretty fucking good right here. Pretty fucking good, man. Golden cross on the daily. All major moving averages chasing price action right now. Short-term time frames are just continuation for right now. Very easy ranges. This is actually probably the easiest chart we've had today. Not bad, man. I wouldn't even use the high in this case. I'd use this area right here. Sideways, sideways between about, what is this, 47 cent and let's just say 60 cent is good for the Bulaws here. We do have hidden bullish evidence on not daily, but 4-hour RSI, back in the bullish controls in there as well. BBWP is unhelpful in this case because I think this thing's a little bit too young. Short-term time frames like an hourly very likely does make a little bit of a leg higher, somewhere around that 59 to 60 cent region, but I don't necessarily think I'd feel comfortable saying that it's going to like break right here, right now. Daily, look, the second that, well, I don't think that I can give a continuation point on this one. I can just give a resolution on this point, and if it does resolve to the upside, where would I be looking towards? I'd be looking somewhere around this breakdown right here, which is 17th of April at about 75.5 cent. Now, of course, you know, nothing's 100% guaranteed, but this one does actually look like one of the better charts we've seen today. Any sort of in this case, probably even a move below about 46.5 cent. I would look for this one to retrace a little bit more deep, somewhere around the upper 30s, and probably look for a bounce around there. But for right now, one of the better charts that we've seen today, no doubt about it. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Then again, I don't know if it's a good, it's typically not a good sign when you see nameless altcoins rallying well, I wouldn't necessarily say this is like terrible either. So fair enough. You know, I'll hold off on that statement. Green Third Eye says, hello, Dr. Derp. That's me and Derpina of good character. Yes, she is the Derpina of good character and morals. Everybody wants to go to the moon. I'm shooting for the sun, though. Sol USD for our daily weekly. Sure, man. All right, let's check it out. Going to the sun. Moon. Fuck the moon. I'm going to the sun. Well, Sol, what are we looking at right here? Okay, is this one an easy one or a hard one right now? Okay, we did get a bit of a range similar to yesterday. Is this one problematic right here though? Not yet. I'm actually not gonna record this one because I've done so many fucking Solana videos recently. 69 bucks gonna be the magical number on this one. I believe that was our pullback target yesterday if things did essentially fail below this level right here, and we did get that, so that is good. Fuck it. You know what? We can record this one. It's actually rather interesting. All right, here we go. Here we have Solana, symbol SOL versus the dollar. This one being requested by Green Third Eye. Great name, and I wonder what you're up to right now, sir, in the early morning hours. Anyways, he's looking at a 4-hour daily and weekly. And good day to you as well, sir. All right, so yesterday we did say that if this one did break this nice uptrending, what do you want to call this, diagonal support line right here at about 73.5 or 74 bucks, then we would be looking for a move all the way down to the very nasty price of 69 or so, just right below there on the 55 on this chart. We have thus far bounced off this level on the 4-hour time frame, and we can look at some a little bit more reasonable like this in this case. Now we do have potential hidden bullish evidence going to be confirmed on this current potential 4-hour low. How do we confirm this as a 4-hour low right here? We need to see a closure back above about 73 bucks. It would be a little bit better if it was above 73.5. If that does happen, I would look for this one to continue to fill out this area and look for a resolution, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but probably on Friday to Saturday region, somewhere around here. Just as an aside, things are more likely to actually break if you are in a pattern formation when you're about 70 to 75% full, and this one's getting there, but the apex is actually still way out there, so it could very easily spend some more time until like the the 27th, 28th, maybe even 29th. But for right now, as long as this one does hold the 55, I have no major issues with it. The technical target to the upside would actually be a little bit higher than what we had yesterday, seeing as the structure is slightly different now that we actually do have a bit of a low going in right there, and would imply a target basically up to $90 if we do see an upside resolution anywhere above about $80 right here, or just a higher high than what we did see on the 21st of August. Obviously, just looking for a tick is going to be less, impressive, but let's go to the daily as well and see what this one's looking like. And what do we have right here? Yeah, just bounce off the 10 symbol for right now. Now, if this one does choose the downside resolution, meaning that it actually does break below its current low structure, which is, let's just say, $69 or so on a 4-hour closure, I would look for a decent size retracement into the 50s. Let's see if that's in line with the daily 21. Yeah, it is. It is about 59 to $60, and that's what I'd be looking for on the next bounce. Also in line with the 1.272 around there as well. Let's see what this one looks like from a stochastic perspective as well. Oops, I literally just typed in stochastic. What is this one called? Solanas. There we go. All right, show me the Solanas. All right, here we go. 3-hour Stokes about to turn up with any sort of a closure above about $71. Clean buck and 15 cents above that right now. Hourly is probably already up. Yes, it is. As long as you're above 70.55, good. Buy hourly is up as long as above 71.39.5, and 4-hour will turn to the upside with any sort of a closure above 77. So that's a bit of the odd man out, but that will change in the next hour and 40 minutes. So if it can just hold here sideways, that will start to look decent enough. Short-term timeframes do suggest a bounce, very likely a bounce back up, probably around $73.5 if I had to guess. And then I'd be cognizant of the 4-hour closure. If it can start to close above about 73.5 to 74 especially, I would be looking at this as a local low, and then for that hidden bullish divergence to play out with another test back up to the upper 70s. But I don't necessarily think that this one's ready like as of right now. I think that you still probably be waiting if this one does essentially put in a higher low right here, which is certainly possible. Long-term target's still the same thing if it does actually break out to the upside, but that is of course relevant for the long term, probably not as relevant to you if you're on the more short-term time frames, but that would still be north of $100 or so pretty damn good, but probably still way far away, assuming that this one just doesn't break down from its current level. Still one of the more impressive charts in cryptocurrency land, no doubt about that, and hopefully that was helpful. There you go, sir. Nice one. Miguel, there he is. UTK USD. I got in at 46 cents. I thought support would hold. Now we are at 42. Any opinion? Okay. Well, if you thought support would hold, what did you do once it did not hold? Okay, so you got in at 46 cents. You literally wait. What the fuck? Okay, wait. What are you trading this right here? What time frame are you on? Oh, you're okay. Okay. I was on a 2-day right there. That's why that looked a little bit strange. Okay, so it's trading 43 cents. You got in at 46. So you basically got in at the top of this little short form accumulation, short form consolidation right there. Very similar chart to a lot of the other shitcoins that we looked at today. Pretty obvious. Should we get rid of that? I don't like these like strong white ones. Let's go. Let's use this. Actually, the same level anyways, but. My OCD is kicking in right now. I'd be looking for a bounce off this level first and foremost, actually. This is where the support is, not this, unless if you're on like very, very low term time frames, but I'm on a 4-hour right now. So, you should trade shitcoins at your own peril, man. Anyways, sir, you okay? Okay. All right. Anyways, 4-hour RSI is rejecting the bearish controls on 4 right now. So I'd be looking for a short-term move up, probably around 44.5 cents or so. Not necessarily for you. Like what was your plan when you took this trade is a real question. You basically bought in the middle of this consolidation. One of my personal rules, and I'm not saying that this is like right for you or wrong for you, but maybe something you want to consider. One of my personal rules is that as a range trader, I never buy in the middle of the range. I don't care what anything is saying. I do not buy in the middle of the range. I only buy I only play longs on the bottom side of the range and only play shorts on the top side of the range. And yes, at some point it will fucking break out. No shit. But as you can see right here, it's more likely to range about 70% of the time, actually, to be exact, than trend. So in this case right here, levels are pretty well documented and defined. You're going to be in trouble on this position, I suspect, if you do, if you do start to close below 42 cents, even on an hourly in this case. But for right now, I'd be looking for a bounce first, look for a little bit more sideways, and probably does, yeah, not the most impressive chart on a daily right here. Or is it? Yeah, certainly, yeah, not the most impressive chart on a daily. So I think best case scenario, this one goes sideways for a while. See what the weekly looks like as well. Yeah, less impressive than a lot of the other altcoins, although this one did retest around the highs of this rally, but that is not as impressive when you look at the history of this one all the way back to 2018. So any opinion on that one? I think you're going to bounce from there. I don't know if you necessarily get out at your entry, and then again, are you going to get out at your entry and maybe reposition later? Like, what were you trying to do there? That would be my question to you. It'd actually be like, if you are going to ask me about a position, it would be very, very helpful for myself just to understand like what your reasoning was, what your plan was, and kind of like why. And then maybe I can help out with that. But other than that, it's like, I didn't get you into the position, so I don't know what we're using to like generate that. And like, what were you targeting? What were you using as risk management? All that good stuff that needs to, of course, be done before you ever make a fucking trade. Tisk, sir. Anyways, Dan says, my man sold a 6-figure NFT. Really? Holy shit. Nice one, man. Well, congratulations. Stakes on me tonight. Nice. I'm going to be looking for a $2 stake. No, it's all good, man. That's awesome, man. Fuck yeah. 6 figures on an NFT. What the fuck? What the hell am I doing? What the fuck am I doing, man? NFTs just look more fun than trading now. Maybe I'll get into NFTs. Christopher Corey says chain link chart and price prediction for 2021. I don't think you understand how charting works, sir. I'll let the fucking Moon Boys and Doom Boys of the world talk about price prediction for 2021. That is no offense, and I'm guessing that you probably just don't know this. That is more or less bullshit that people will feed to you to get more subscribers and likes and good shit like that. Look, can I give you a price prediction for 2021, the end of 2020? There's no fucking way to do that, man. I don't. There is no good way to do that, man. All you can do is operate off statistics and probabilities in this market. And for something that looks like this, would I be comfortable making a prediction for 2020? Absolutely not, man. No fucking way. I can give you like a bullish prediction and a bearish prediction. Bearish prediction. Let's start off with the downside first. Bearish prediction back down to $9.5. Bullish prediction, I don't know, probably new all-time highs if it does go for the upside here. Now, here's the thing: you actually will have hidden bullish evidence on monthly RSI if you do basically close here or higher by end of month. But that's another basically 7 days. Maybe that's relevant for you. Maybe it's not. Did you give any time frames? No time frames. What the fuck, man? Chain link chart, no time frames given. What the fuck do I do with this? I don't know. Sorry, man. I'm giving you way too much of a hard time, and I can see via your profile picture you are a very jacked and swole individual. So I will be respectful to you, sir. Praise these and say a few hail chest bras. Anyways, let's record this one. I'll do a general analysis on this one, but can I talk about like a 2021 price prediction? I don't fucking know about that. Here we have chain link, symbol link versus the dollar. This will be requested by Mr. Christopher Curry, a very powerful avatar, actually. Anyways, we do see on the shorter term time frames right here that we do have a bit of, still higher lows going on now, don't we? Anyways, what does the structure currently looks like? Well, let's actually get rid of the very short term time frame structure, and we got actually something very, very obvious going on right here as well, which would be a little bit good for the short term boo laws, however, which is a potential higher low. This will be confirmed basically any closure on this next 4-hour dildo above about 26.85 or so, and then we will actually initiate hidden bullish evidence over here as we're making massively lower lows on RSI, and we have made higher lows thus far on price action. This is also coming in line with actually expanding volatility. That would be a little bit more on the bearish side in my opinion, just because this did have a nice little downside move right there. Then again, you can make some excuses for this one. Anyways, I suspect that your question was more based off of long-term analysis. I do suppose that there's really no reason to be bearish on some like link with this next caveat, as long as you're above 24 and a quarter, let's say on a daily, meaning that if you do start to come back down below that region, this is going to be a bait and switch on a golden cross into a death cross. I mean, you've technically been death cross this whole way, but this would be the real one that you actually want to play. So as long as this thing does hold above about 24 and a quarter, that inevitably will continue to actually give you the official golden cross, and I'll be looking for this one to trade sideways and have an upside resolution outside of this range. That'll be confirmed with a 4-hour dildo closure above $29. You probably have a target up somewhere around, well, let's see what the technical target would be on this in this case. Probably in like the mid 30s, actually more like $32 with probably more continuation over time, to be fair. Anyways, now if you do start to come back down below this level and close below there, I would be looking for this one to cough up the strong majority of its rally relatively fast down to 19.5 within like a week or two, and then probably even more over time. That would look very fucking bad on this one. It's not good to not see Link operating well here. With that said, though, if you are more long-term, which it sounds like you are, you're probably focused on the monthly in this case, which this one actually has one of the best monthly charts in cryptocurrency land. By far. It's just been in a general uptrend the whole damn time, while most things, especially in 2018 and for some portions in 2020, did initiate some downtrends right there. This one did not. And we actually will confirm, like I did say, hidden bullish evidence on monthly RSI if this one does close here or higher by end of month, but that's another 7 days left to go or so. If that does get confirmed, I'd look for September to trade up somewhere around $40. Probably does gun for new all-time highs before end of year, but that's a long time to be waiting right here, and understand where your risk is. If you do start to choose the downside of this one, it's going to look really fucking nasty, man. We can also go look at it over here and just get a little bit more on these biases. Short-term time frames, 4 hour. We will see 4 hour stocks turn back up with any sort of a closure above 28 and a quarter. Hourly already up as long as above 26, so good. What about the buy hourly? 26 and a quarter as well. Okay, so we see a bit of confluence right there. Good. What about daily? Twisting down, actually, losing the bullish control zone now, but 2880 is the magical number, and I believe that was also our upside resolution here too. Yes, it was. So good confluence right there. I don't think, if it is going to happen, I don't think it happens today or tomorrow. You actually would even have another drive of hidden bullish evidence if it can put in another low, local low right here, but perhaps around late Thursday or Friday, that is. If you do see it still hanging within this range, then that's going to start to look decent enough for a potential drive to the upside. Just be aware, where that risk is and where that continuation is. Risk is below, like I said, about 25 and some odd change. Or sorry, no. I mean, your real risk is like below here, below about 24 and a quarter, but below 25. Below 25, basically 25, I would be looking for a test down there. You better hope that it fucking holds at that point. And to the upside, very, very easy, $29. And I'd be looking for an extension all the way up to about 32 and a half, maybe even as much as $34. Probably plays at a bit of a pullback there and then come back to it after that. For what it's worth, I do think that there are more bullish things going on here than bearish, but at the end of the day, man, price action matters more, and the ranges are very, very well defined. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go. All right, Devin Slice says, can you look at more? It's a very new alt. Then I can't give you a good, look, man, I can look at it, but I don't think I'm going to have a good opinion on this thing if it's super new. Okay, it's not that new. It's pretty new, but it ain't that new. It does have the chart of a shitcoin right here thus far, but it hasn't, might be a little bit too early to call it something like that. Short term, do we play out a bit of an extension on this move? Probably back up to about, what is this? 392.7802 Ethereums. I don't know what this is. But I don't know where to go with this one. You haven't really given me any time frames. I suspect that you got maybe another drive higher here and then, come back to it after that. But very unimpressive chart for what it's worth. Didn't really join on the upside rallies from this August rally thus far. You do have a higher low right here. That'd be the good thing. I do think that you will extend this run a little bit, but it's hard for me to say anything other than that, man. I can't, I have to say a good amount of I don't know is the proper answer here, just because there's not really much to make out of this. Short term, a little bit of upside, but other than that, I don't have anything that I'd stand by, certainly. BK says, sir, GHST. Yeah, let's get back on this one, man. So when I spoke with Jason Pizzino over the weekend, he let me know that this ghost token thingy is kind of similar to like an Axie. It's like a gaming token, I guess. Or something of that sort. I was even talking with Josh last night too, man, and he's on the fucking Axie grind. He likes it. He thinks it's a cool game. So maybe I have to go check it out. But fair enough. Anyways, let's go look at this one. All right, here we have Ghost, I think, symbol GHST versus BUSD. This is being requested by Mr. BK. He's looking at 4 hour daily weekly on Binance, the very highly esteemed shitcoin exchange. And what do we have right here? Short term, losing its luster a little bit. Looks like we've already tapped in this region a couple times. I do think this one short term probably does break down a little bit more towards 185 or 186 or so. Is that problematic for the long term trend, however, is the real question. And, well, yeah, it would start to get a little bit more, well, maybe not necessarily. I mean, this one is actually starting to lose structure right here. Let's go look at momentum oscillators really quickly. Is this one losing its luster? Daily? No, this one's coming all the way down. 226, the magical number to turn it back up, which is actually about a quarter away from current price action and quite a big move on a $2 name almost. 4 hour will turn back up with any sort of a closure above $4, and also volatility will expand as well, it looks like. And hourly is going to be doing what? Same area, $2 is the magical number right there. By hourly, literally $2 coming up again as well, and 3 hours showing the same exact level, $2. So I'm inclined to say that if this thing can hold sideways from where it is right now, and enclose any of those timeframes above a above a $2 read right there, you will naturally see all of them start to follow through. And I would be looking for this to, well, I guess it'd be rather sloppy, which is okay. You can get that on altcoins certainly. But I'd be looking at something like this, where it does bounce off this level and then pop back up somewhere around like 215 to 220ish region over the next week or so, and just kind of play sideways, which would be good for this thing. I do think best case for Boo Laws is sideways here. Now, if it does break below this level, I would be looking first for a move down to about 185 to 180ish region, very likely a bounce there, and then come back to it after that. I don't necessarily know if the daily would start to look pretty damn good. I think I put this trend line in here as kind of like just a general guide if it was going to come back down and put in a higher low, because that actually might even end up working out, which is kind of funny. But I'm actually going to get rid of it for right now, because that's like not a good way of doing things. It's not real analysis. But for what it's worth right now, I'd give it a chance. I'd give it a chance to bounce off this level first. If you start to see some of those time frames closing above $2, then I'd start to look for a bit of a bounce in sideways, and that's going to start to look okay. But it does need to start to do that from this current level. If it does break below, I would be looking for deeper retracements first before general bounces, and then we'll get onto it after that. But a very interesting thing, just because you did see what Axie did, of course. And this thing, I believe, is in the same sort of class, of assets. So fair enough. Ranges are pretty well defined right here. Of course, we should go over the top side ranges as well. I just think they're not as relevant right now. I don't think this thing's, close to breaking out. Best it does is sideways within this range right here, but 2.25 would be the magical number right there. And guess what? I believe that was also the daily. Yeah, the daily is 2.25 as well. So above there, momentum starts to turn up again as well. And I'll start to look for, a run towards per all-time highs and very likely new all-time highs. So yeah, there you go. Let's see, maybe is there anything obvious on like a 2-day? 2-day looks like it kind of wants to break down as well. 3-day, same thing. May have to count on the lower term time frames to bounce it right here. But there you go, man. Hopefully that was helpful, and enjoy. All right, nice one. Okay, Gohan's mom says chain link, please. I think we got that. I think we got that one, so all good there. Let me know if you want to look at something very specific, though. We can definitely do that. Okay, here we go. Rashi Car, what's up, man? Not sure why the feed makes you like your makes it look like you're wearing makeup. I don't know. Probably the lights, man, because I have like this really fucking bright light in my face here, which can probably make it look like I'm wearing. Oh, sorry. Elsa told me to stop line. So I'm going to stop line. I'm wearing eyeliner. I'm wearing concealer for all my zits. And I'm also wearing a wig, too. It's not my real hair, believe it or not. Yes, Elsa did all my makeup. Anyways, appreciate that, man. Oh, yeah, let's look at Axes. Okay. Yeah, let's look at this one. I don't think I've even recorded a video on this one, even though it's probably one of the more interesting ones. Holy shit, man. This thing really does not know how to go down. Fucking incredible, man. Incredible chart right there. All right, well, let's record this one. Here we have Axes, symbol AXS, versus the dollar right here. This one will be requested by Mr. Rashi Kar. He's looking at a 4-hour, 12-hour, and daily. One of the best charts in cryptocurrency land right here. Very, very impressive. First thing that kind of stands out. However, does that mean it's just going to go straight to the upside in an unabated line? I mean, that's pretty much what it's been doing for the last few. I mean, realistically, since it was born over here. Let's see what momentum also to say, and let's see what the lower term timeframes look like for right now. Okay, so the daily was looking a little bit shaky, but now that it's kind of revealed on the short term timeframes, it ain't as bad as what it could have looked like. Now, I do suspect that if you are bullish, you're looking at something like this, right? Basically, bounce off the 2-spot 414 extension right there out of the prior base. And you would be putting in another higher low. And if that does get confirmed as a higher low, which is not there just yet, it will be confirmed. Actually, pretty much is there. In fact, any sort of a closure here or higher will certainly do it on the next 4 hours. On the next 4 hour closure, which is in 1 hour, 23 minutes and 50 seconds. Then we will actually have another drive of hidden bullish divergence over here, because this is a significantly lower low on our side with a decently higher low on price action right here between this and this. So I would be looking for that one to bounce back up around the tops of the range first, maybe just below $76, and felt this area a little bit more. Again, the general notion applies where you typically do find your breakouts in these in these types of formations when you're about 70 to 75% full with towards the apex of your formation. Anyways, in this case right here, there is an obvious area to be getting a little bit short-term bearish on, probably the wrong terminology right there, but that'll be any sort of even a buy hourly closure below about $68. I would look for extension all the way down to the bottom side of the range at 63. Start to violate that area, I would look for greater retracements actually, somewhere down around the daily 21 in this case, which is, oh my god, it's actually so fucking high right now. Sorry, I guess it'd be the daily 55 in this case, because it is, and this one really is like the best chart on cryptocurrency, and that is so impressive. I should let you know though, daily Jewel is giving off a pretty decent signal, but it is not supported by autofib, which is usually a warning sign that the signal won't work as well. But you do have a couple drives of bearish divergence on the top right here as well. Could you argue that that's already played out? Perhaps yes. It'd be fully played out at 65, however, at least in my book. Let's go look at it from a momentum perspective and see if there's any sort of natural biases will come out this one from here. Daily will be twisting down as long as below 80 bucks. So again, as far as the formation goes, I do think sideways is good for Bulas here. I don't think this one's breaking out to the upside anytime soon. On a higher term time frame for the 4 hour, 71.81, which we're actually above right now, so that will turn to the upside with on the next closure if we do close anywhere here or higher. By hourly, same, except that one stays to the upside as long as above 70.34.5, and hourly shows actually down if we do close below 73 bucks. So a little bit of sideways here is what I do believe is most likely, but sideways is good for Bulas. It's just I would like to see this one go sideways for. Probably into the weekend, if anything, maybe into the end of the month. Speaking of the end of the month, how are we looking like right here? Very good, very fucking good. So I'm not bearish on a chart that looks like that, but it is still another 7 days left to go. Anyways, you did ask about the 12 hour. Again, if this one does confirm a local low right here, which would not happen on this current 12 hour dildo, it only happen on the next one if possible, with a closure above 75.25, which can be led into by the lower term time frames as we just kind of looked at. If they start to turn up, then we will actually have hidden bullish evidence on this time frame as well with a few drives actually, and I'd be looking for a move basically around 79 to 80 bucks. Again, I don't necessarily think that it'd break out like today, but perhaps a little bit later this week or early next week is where I'd be looking for. Again, sideways is good here. I just don't think this one's necessarily ready to continue with overall trend as I peruse around the different time frames. Weekly is just the backfill on last weekly open. It's completely fine. So take that as you will, and hopefully that was helpful, sir. There you go. Nice one. Maral Gandhi says GDLC grayscale. Okay. What is this one? GDLC? Digital large cap fund. Okay, so it's just like a basket of a bunch of the big boys. Actually looks pretty damn good here, but retesting your prior highs, well, you kind of already did it right there, and you already got the sell off. The weekly, I do like this one overall. I don't know if it's necessarily ready to continue from here though, but long-term uptrend, you are pretty much at your prior time high. Weekly RSI says up, weekly Joule says up, BBWP not helpful there. The question is, does it sell off on the top side of this resistance once again or not? I'm always inclined to say yes for my personal rules and my personal trading. If it does, I'll be looking for a retracement, maybe back down around about 35 in a quarter or so, somewhere in the middle of the range here over time. What is monthly looking like? Monthly looks very good. Okay, I like the monthly a lot. I don't know if it breaks out today, but if you close a monthly anywhere above 46 and a half bucks, I'd be looking for new all-time highs into September. This is going to look very fucking good. Other than that, though, I don't really have a strong opinion on the short-term timeframes here. They're a little bit more on the bullish side, but I don't feel too compelled by them and not comfortable saying anything more than that I'd stand by. Symbol MS, there he is. Oh shit, sorry man, I did just skip you, sir. Spiros83 says you moved to Cali and you did not move to San Diego. Actually, that is a really good point. San Diego is the best part of California. That's probably what people think California is when they watch it in the movies and whatnot. You're looking at Matic on the daily from the great state of Texas. Yeah, Texas is probably where everyone wants to go right now. Matic, yeah, we can look at that one. Where's my Matic? 151. Okay, there we go. Again, a lot of very, very similar charts today, as always, as fucking always. Do we have hidden bullish evidence possible here? Not yet. Not yet. I do suspect that you have a little bit of a short-term move to the upside, probably around 155 or so before anything else happens. But you're looking at a daily. See if anything obvious right here. Still got higher lows, but that's not too helpful when your higher low come anywhere above about 133. That's 12-hour daily. Same thing. If this one does want to play a little bit of a short-term downside move, I'd be looking right around about 140 and probably bounce there. I don't hate this chart. It's not a bad chart. It's just, does this one trade a little bit of sideways here and then try some upside maybe later this week, or does it actually make a stab downwards first, try for a low at around 140? I think that actually looks a little more likely on this one, to be fair. Other than that, man, I'm not really getting anything too obvious right here. Let's see. Maybe on this chart. Let's see if we have any biases to be made up over here. Hourly is obviously up. What about 4 hour? That's going to be twisting up with any sort of a closure above 153.5. Daily 167. Yeah, I actually do think this one probably does test the downside first, but I would be looking for a bounce right around 140 or so. And that would still be yet again another higher low and still continuing on with the overall uptrend. Again, BBWP trending down right here, but not super low just yet. I do suspect that, you know, that would account for long-term health, but short-term downside, very likely a bounce right around there. More of a difficult chart right there. Symbol NMS, there he is, Rune USD on the daily. Okay. Rune USD. Let me just see how many videos I've already recorded today. This might be too much already. Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My lord, man. What the fuck? Okay, cool. All right, this Fibonacci retracement is not relevant towards what we're looking at right now, but price action, not bad right here. Not bad, actually. 4 hour. Looks like yet again another higher low right here. We should have hidden bullish evidence as soon as this confirms as a local low, which would be above about 1085 or so. I'd be looking for a move back around about 11.5 or so. If that were to happen. Did you have a time frame on this? You did on the daily. On the daily. Looks fine to me. Golden cross fresh right here. If it does want to test some downside, wouldn't mind a move to 185 or so. I'd only be concerned on this one with a basically with the closure below about that region actually. Wait, what exactly was that again? That was 985. Sorry, I think I said 185. I meant 985 to be fair. 4 hour would be in trouble if you do start to close below about 2.25. Just know where your risk is, and I'd be looking for a deeper retracement down to $8. But this one looks okay to me. I do think that this one probably digs itself out of here. A little bit of sideways and up, but probably boring today, I imagine. A little bit of a short-term low right there. Yeah, very, very likely short-term move to the upside and then figure it out from there. Mr. Cole Evans. Hey, Krown, what's up, man? Can we look at Cardano USD, Binance 1 hour, 4 hour, and 12 hour and daily? Man, that is a lot of time frames, sure. What do we have right here? Hourly. Well, let's get this one out of the way first and foremost. Looks like it's putting in a bit of a local low right here. I would be looking for this one to trade back up somewhere around about 285. Rejection of the bearish controls right there. Again, this whole move is coming on declining volatility, so I'm inclined to say that this is yet again another higher low. Probably easier to see on a 4 hour. Yes, indeed it is. We do see actually hidden bullish divergence will be possible once the 4 hour confirms, which would be confirmed with any sort of a closure above 281.5. And then I'd be looking for a retest of the highs of this rally, about 290 to 295 region. Daily would just be continuation at that point. This would look pretty damn good. 12 hour, a little bit less obvious. Where does a lower term time frame range break? However, below yesterday's spike low, actually 259 in this case, I would be looking for a bit of a bounce at 248 to 250ish region. However, would that bounce be along anything else? Actually, would be the daily 10 symbol. I'd be looking for a bounce there first and then come back to it after that. I wouldn't be calling any major breakdowns just yet. However, this one is getting pretty extended right here, though. And we will have bearish divergence confirmed if this does confirm as a local high right here, but it is not just yet. It's not just yet. Need to close below about 260 or so for that to happen. And then, yeah, we can start to target some moves, some decent sized move to the downside, like 220 or so, but still well and far away. And I'm not necessarily leaning towards that happening right there, to be honest with you. Lance Hall says, hey, Krown, can we take a look at EOS on the daily and monthly? EOS, wow. Still people who care about EOS. Interesting. Yeah, pretty bad here on the daily. I mean, this one just got nowhere near its 2017, 2018 high, so it's very, very weak. But you're looking at very high term timeframes. It sounds like daily and monthly. Okay, but the spread, daily very likely bounce off this level. I mean, short term it's fine. Hidden bullish divergence present on the daily as well. If it can confirm a local low here, any sort of a closure back above 5.25, especially would look pretty damn good for filling this out a little bit more. You said a monthly, however. Monthly is kind of unhelpful on this one. I mean, it is turning the corner a little bit. You do have a change of behavior on the volume signature right here. It's just not the most impressive chart because it's so far away from its 2018 high, and this is what the real chart looks like. You know, it's usually a very bad sign when the rest of the market was already making new all-time highs, and this one was just not. But that doesn't mean it can't rally off this level right here. In fact, I think it probably does. Here's the thing, though, and here's the real risk on something like EOS. Anywhere below 4 3/4, 475, this thing's going to look fucking terrible, like absolutely fucking terrible. And I'd be looking for a move all the way back down below $4 and probably even just coughs with the whole goddamn rally and makes new lows after that. Do I think that's what's happening here? Probably not, no, but that would be the risk in this one. Other than that, very similar to the other charts, sideways, you know, is best case scenario for blue laws, which without just breaking down. You know, if this one can trade sideways for another few days in this range right here and do something like this, that'll look pretty good. Something like this right here, you know, reaccumulation formation, but still a little bit immature for me, you know, as far as formation goes to document it as such. But it is possible, and I would be leaning towards that just in the general feeling of the market. But we are seeing bifurcation here amongst a lot of the bigger, you know, a lot of the bigger names. Some of the names actually look decent, but I think that they are fewer and far between. Actually, most of the names look sideways at best and hinting on a little bit of downside. I do think there is more of that actually going on. Flavio says, hey sir, what's up, man? Looking at PCX daily operating on higher lows above 21 EMA. Okay. PCX, is this a crypto or this thingy? Oh my god, it's probably crypto. Oh dear lord. All right, here we go. Well, maybe I shouldn't judge it, and I should judge it. It's bad. It's fucking bad, man. Only goes down, baby. Only goes down. Let's see. It is still above the 21. Yeah, I mean, you really... A general rule for both stock market, commodities, and cryptocurrencies is that if you need to make an excuse for your pet rock, it's probably not good. At least I don't really find too many good results with that. We can put it on log scale, and it actually still looks terrible on log scale, actually. Anyways, trending reversal with a little rejection, looking to flip resistance at 8.5 and 1165 over time. Okay, so you're looking for it to flip resistance at 8.5 and 11. I mean, the big one's actually right here, in my opinion, about 7.25. I guess that was just like a comment. If so, I mean, if it did that, I'd agree with you. It'd be good. I'm just a little bit skeptical of a chart that looks like this, as always. It doesn't have too much history to give it its fair dues. In short-term timeframes, it is an altcoin after all, and they just generally do look sloppy. I suppose it's not too bad as long as you're above about 407, 405 region, but the second that you start to violate that region, this thing's going to fall apart and fall apart fast. But, for right now, I guess you give it the benefit of the doubt, just know where your risk is, and it sounds like you got a plan, so all good. I would agree with you on your areas, more or less, so there we go. I think that's, hopefully that's helpful in some way. Although I would disagree with 8.5. I think $7, right? What was it? 7.25 right there is the big one, actually. Superdrac wants to look at GRT. Sure. Sure. All right. GRT, US derp. Let's see on Binance. Again, very similar chart if you just kind of zoom in on this portion right here. So I imagine, as always, most things in this market are just going to do the same thing as each other. But you do have potential hidden bullish evidence if this can confirm as a local low. This will be confirmed as a local low with any sort of a closure above about 96 cent or just a higher high above your last 4-hour high in this case. Probably use that, be a little more aggressive, and then I'll be looking for a short-term move to $1. But just like the other altcoins, man, I think best case scenario for a lot of these ones, best case for Boo Laws is sideways and rally off these current lows right here and do something like this. Do something like this where you got your top side resistance right here, and you maybe look for a resolution like later this week or early next week, something like that. Of course, below the current low structure at 90 cents, I would look for this one to make a nice move down about 81.5, and then we'll come back to it after that. I mean, this would start to look like a bull trap in this case if that were to happen. But let's not get ahead of ourselves as well, because a lot needs to happen for that to be relevant too. I suspect that if it is going to happen, we can probably come back tomorrow and see what it's at. And I imagine Bitcoin's going to lead it anyways if it's going to do that. So you'll know that a lot of these altcoins are probably going to break down to those next short-term targets if Bitcoin does break down below its current lows, which is about 47,700 or so. If you're looking at an hourly, a closure below about 47.7 would do it. Even 47.9 probably not so good right there, sir. TOSU Fever says, I just found DAG, but don't want to FOMO into this one. You look at short and medium term timeframes. You don't want to FOMO in. You're looking at short and medium term timeframes. Interesting. So it sounds like you might be lower. Oh wow, this is really fucking good here. Oh, let's record it. This one's great actually. Giving you shit before I even looked at it, man. Shame on me. All right, here we have Constellation, symbol DAG versus the dollar, requested by Mr. OSU Fever. He must be a good, what is it, Oklahoma? Is that right? Oklahoma State? Or maybe your Oregon State. I actually went to University of Oregon. So maybe we're enemies, which doesn't matter, but whatever. Anyways, you're looking at short and medium term time frames. Well, first thing that stands out to me right here is that this is easily the best chart that we've seen today. This one's not just retesting per all-time highs. This one's making new all-time highs, while most things are going sideways at best. 4-hour powerful. I mean, this thing is fucking good. Now, your question is basically, I don't want to FOMO into this one. So I suppose the real question is, when do you expect a reversal and a little bit of downside? I actually do think that it probably has one more run to the upside here. But you are starting to get very, very hot on hourly BBWP. I think 4-hour probably is getting up there as well. Yeah, that about 78.5 percentile. I'd like to see the 4-hour get above 90, and then I would be looking for and preparing for a pullback here. But how high does this thing get before that happens? I have no idea, man. I mean, this is easily the best chart that we've seen today, and my sort of experience in these sorts of just straight up charts in general is that when you see something that's in price discovery at new all-time highs, you get out of the way of it and you don't try to guess the high before it is there. Now we can look at some Fibonacci targets first to maybe get some areas of interest for a bit of a reversal. But even in the short term, that would be 46 cent. And realistically, you're a lot more likely to top out somewhere between these two babies right here, which is about 54 cent all the way up to 68.5 cent, which is a massive fucking range. So, you kind of play that at your own peril. But I do suspect that this one very likely does continue on with the current rally and then plays out a pullback and probably hits a high at one of those targets, generally speaking. And then where does the pullback come? If we assume that one of those is going to be the high, well, now we're just making a shit ton of assumptions. But where the pullback come, very likely somewhere back down around our current breakdown at about 27.5 to 28 cent or so. But that's going to take some time. I don't know how long term or short term you are on this thing, but this is easily the best chart that we've seen today. Very impressive, man. Very fucking impressive. Let's see what it looks like from a momentum oscillator perspective as well. What the fuck is this thing doing for real? Daily, way the fuck up there. So it's really not going to take too much to turn this one down. 42 cent needs to be closed above today in order to keep daily momentum to the upside. 4 hour 41.09. So actually right and above there right now. Buy hourly showing 39 cent, and hourly is going to be showing 42.5. So how would you know that it is reversing it if it doesn't actually melt onto new highs first? Well, where's our structure coming? I mean, even the hourly is just a fucking melt right here. That is insane. I suppose in this case the bets that I could do for you is just your prior breakout area right here. Not too helpful. I understand that that's 39 cent. If you do start to take out 39 cent, I would look for a retracement down to about the mid 30s, and that's probably where you do try for a bit of a higher low. I mean, this thing's just been straight up melting. So I'm inclined to say that this one probably does gun for new highs first before anything else. And then I want to see what the high is and then look at a pullback. If you're looking not to FOMO on something like this, I mean, you just have to know where your risk is, right? Like that's what it's all about. You can talk about FOMO, you can talk about not FOMO. FOMO is irrelevant if you have a plan, right? And this one, this one we actually need to look at the trending charts if anything, because like this is obviously fucking trending. This one is going to continue with the all-time high party as long as it's trending outside the topside Toronto band, which is currently sitting at 39.73 cent. So understand what that is. As long as you're closing above there, I'd be looking for those general upside targets to get probably met and then play at a pullback from there. But where's your risk from here? About 3 cents down, it looks like. About 3 cents down to about 39 cents. So hopefully that was helpful, man. But easily the most impressive chart that we've seen today. And it is wise that, it is very mature that you're aware that your own emotions are kind of feeling FOMO right there, as you probably would, when you see a chart like this, which is not even this. It's really, on linear scale like this, right? But I wouldn't necessarily be looking for a pullback, even medium term, as long as this thing's above 39 cent realistically. So hopefully that was helpful, man. But wow, powerful chart. Very, very powerful. Bruh, says Stalix Tears. UBT, daily weekly. Okay, all right, let's check it out. I'm guessing it's Unibright. We only got one exchange, sir. We got actually another pretty damn good chart here too. Not bad. Same sort of knowledge applies though. Could this be your high right here on this long-legged Doge dildo? Could be. I need to see a closure, on a daily below about 260 or so, and then I'd be very comfortable calling this a major high, and then comes all the way back down to like 210 to 213 or so. But for right now, let's actually get it over here and see what this is. UBT USD. What do we have? Another very impressive chart, actually. This one's right up there with Constellation. Anyways, I apparently charted this one out like ages ago when I was using actually white horizontals, but not any longer, sirs and sirs. For what it's worth right now, what time frames were you looking at, sir? What time frames? Daily and weekly, okay. Well, weekly, my opinion on this one, man. Good. Long-term, very, very good. Probably can come up with some long-term targets as well. You're just at the 1.414, so it's very common to sell off that to the 272. As long as you hold that, generally speaking, I would be looking for long-term, like we were talking like, a couple months probably, $5 plus. Look really fucking good right there. Daily just looks like a fresh breakout, man. Daily BBWP is trending up, yes, but it's not even in the 90 percentiles. I think this one has some more before you see like even like a medium-term pullback. This is good. Very, very good. I have nothing bad to say about this at all, as long as you're above 238. Below 238, you got some problems, but right now, man, looking good. I'd be looking at that last long-legged doji dodo right there as, kind of irrelevant. It's just a liquid, similar to what you saw right on over here. This would be a shooting star dodo, and it's like, oh shit, the rally's over, and it was for like a day, but not for long, baby, not for fucking long. All right, Valentin Jen says, morning, sir. What's up, man? Ocean USD. All right, what do we have over here? My voice is starting to fail me, man. Holy shit. Looking a little bit short-term toppy. Well, daily toppy. 4-hour hidden bullish evidence populating itself right now. Any sort of a closure here or higher in the next hour or so, I would be looking for a short-term move back up around 95.5 cent. This one's actually rather easy in this case. We don't have, let's chart it for this time frame right here. If you do start to break back down below 85 cent, that's at the point where I actually would switch on to medium-term bearish and look for a deeper retracement to 69 or 70 cent. But for right now, short-term very likely does pop back up here. And then daily, again, best case scenario sideways and up as far as I'm concerned. But other than that, man, I don't really have too much to say about this thing. If it actually does top out around here and you see like a legitimate reversal, which in this case, you need to come back down below about 76 cent, on a daily, then we actually will have a massive bull trap right here. But this is, for what it's worth, a long-term uptrend. It looks like on the weekly. Yes, indeed it is. So we got the higher low structure right there. Nice. And weekly still looks okay. 5-day looking okay as well. So I would still favor the BULAs here. Short-term, again, very, very short-term. That can confirm I'd be looking for a bit of a pop back up, but hard to get excited about this one as long as you're below about 102 for another continuation drive. Similar to all of the other charts. Best case scenario for BULAs sideways there and rally off the current lows. Rip Curl says OMI USD on Ascendex. Okay. Jesus Christ, what the f is that? I don't think I've ever. Ascendex. Oh God. Terrible, but short term good. This one did just put in a slew of higher lows. It does look like a short term accumulation right here. I'd probably be looking for this one to trade back up towards, what is this? 0.3 of a cent. 0.3 of a cent, I get 3 cents of a cent, somewhere right around here. I would be looking for breakouts above that level as well, back onto the prior highs of this rally. But short term, it's okay. Momentum also is suggestive of the same thing as well. Even the daily jewel is actually giving a fresh signal right there. That's a pretty fucking good signal right there too. I'd be favoring the short term upside, yeah. Let's see. Oh, the SEC is here. Is FTT ripe and ready to go? 4 hour, please. Thanks, bro. Sure, man. Highly esteemed SEC peoples and personas and persons. Is FTT ripe and ready to go? Okay, on a 4 hour specifically. Short term, yeah, again, similar structure as pretty much everything else we've looked at today, right? That is what you expect in cryptocurrency land. This one, a little bit relatively strong compared to most things in this market, to be fair, but something like this is what I'd be looking at if I want to be bullish. Best case scenario is short-term sideways, but if you can hold it short-term sideways without breaking the current lows at about 46.69, looking for a resolution probably early next week. It looks like around 29th of this month. Resolution obviously would be above 53.5 or so. Now, if you do lose this low, I would be looking for a retracement first down to about $42. But for right now, it's okay. It's one of the better charts we've seen. Not the best chart, but this whole consolidation coming on very, 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 very low volatility. I'm inclined to say this is likely to lead towards trend continuation. Okay, all right. Super Goodly, what's up, man? Do not sell your Bitcoin now! With a bunch of exclamation marks. Hello, sir. Can we look at VET BTC? Sure. Oh, man. Voice is losing it, man. How deep? Oh, my God. We're already 2 hours into this shit. Holy fuck. VET actually put in a nice low right there. Let's see what it looks like on a weekly. Long term, not bad. Not super bad. Now, what time frames are we looking at, sir? Daily. I do want to see what this one looks like right here. Yeah, man, I'd actually be treating this as... Okay, do we have regular bullish evidence there? No, we do not. That would have made it so much more easy. I would treat this in the same way that I look at a lot of the other ones. Bit of a falling channel right there, to be fair, but as long as you're above 250 or so, I look at this as very likely to trade sideways and up out of this current region. But this one's very fucking close to cutting it. 250, below 250, especially on maybe even a 4 hour right here. Yeah, even on a 4 hour, this would be very concerning. I'd be looking for big retracements in this whole rally to fall apart down to like 220 to 225 region. But for now, sideways and up, kind of the same as most of the other things. Do we have any obvious signals here? Yeah, we will have one. If you can confirm a local low right here, you will have hidden bullish evidence on the daily, but that ain't happening today. Or, I mean, it could happen today. You need to see a daily closure of about 267, 268 region, and that'd look pretty damn good for a retest of the highs of this rally, and probably beyond at that point. Look pretty damn good, actually. Chaucer, thoughts on Wish, Dead Cat Bounce, or Trend Reversal, says Rosario. Let's see. Wish. What do we have right here on NAS? Yeah, this is a Dead Cat Bounce. Oh, yeah. Fucking terrible. Dead Cat Bounce, man. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. One of the worst charts we've seen today. Symbol MS says, how can I use sub extensions to predict altcoins long-term price? There's no such a thing as prediction. You just kind of know an area of interest for some algo selling activity. I think you might be thinking of it wrong to begin with. Does a strong alt target a force? No, that's not the way that it works. You just kind of go area by area and just see what the reaction is. There's no way to actually make a prediction on like long-term targets on new blue sky breakouts. No good way as far as I'm concerned, because you're literally in uncharted territory. It's just kind of coming up with areas of of obvious algo selling pressure, because a lot of the time they're programmed to just take profits on longs around those regions. Devin Slices, BNF, please come in. Weeks looks good. Is a good spot to buy in right now. Fuck motherfucker. I can't answer these questions because that's like a literal financial advice, which I can't tell you. It's kind of illegal. And also I don't know what's even like good for you. No, this one's fucking terrible. Holy shit. This one's fucking god awful, man. Like Jesus Christ. What the hell? This is even log scale. Oh, it's not that much, not that much worse on linear. But does the coming weeks look good? Fuck no, man. This looks absolutely dog shit. One of the worst charts we've seen today, if anything. If anything, in the next coming weeks, I'd be looking for new lows on this absolute piece of monstrosity right there. What the fuck, man? Got these goddamn shitcoin please out and take them away immediately. It's disgusting. Crookface says, Melly on the 4 hour, please. Sure, with your dick emoji. What was it again? Melly. Oh, okay. Is this a crypto? Oh god damn it! No, it's not a crypto. All right, so it's stock. All right, can't be that bad then. Yeah, it's not bad at all actually. Short term up, man. This one's looking for a breakout. Long term, wouldn't be surprised to see this thing make new all time highs in the next couple months. In the next month here actually. Short term target on a breakout of your current all time high would be about 2185. Long term, into maybe end of the year, probably looking at like maybe 27, maybe even $3,000. This is really fucking good setup right here. Really fucking good setup right here. A great chart. Oh my god, a fucking phenomenally beautiful chart. Here you go, man. This is what you're looking for. You don't even need to look at momentum oscillators or any bullshit for this one. This is good. This is very, very good. Monthly. Oh, powerful. Hidden bullish evidence on the monthly. Very lovely. Very, very good. Johnny Boy 950 says, can you give me some general TA on Harvest Finance, aka Farm Token? Is it bullish? Oh boy. What could this be? We got some farmers tokens over here. Okay, that's unhelpful. Maybe Binance? Nope, that's also... Oh, I'm on a monthly, that's why. All right, maybe we need to go to Poloni X Derp or maybe in Coinbase. This is an unhelpful chart, man. I don't know because it's so sloppy. We do have a golden cross right here. This one is consolidated above your prior breakdown, which is typically a good thing. If I had to say something about it, I do think it trades sideways and up from here, probably around your prior highs of this rally, maybe in the next week or two. But you have an obvious place to get bearish on this one too. Anywhere below 190 is phenomenally bad. But if I had to call it, this one probably does choose the upside resolution. I just don't feel comfortable on this one because there's just not good enough price action right here. Really be analyzing, at least for myself. I can't make much out of that. Looking at Coinbase, doesn't look too hot on Coinbase, but I don't feel confident on this one either. I do think it trades sideways and up from here if you put a gun to my head. But other than that, man, I don't feel comfortable saying anything else. Hootie Hennessy, what's up, man? Polkadot, anything short, medium, long term? Okay, whatever you can give me. All right, I'll try my best, man. But no promises on this one. Let's see. Do we have anything obvious here? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. We have a little bit of a 4 hour low in the making. That would be another higher low. And would we have hidden bullish evidence? We would. The short-term target probably somewhere around about 27 to 28 bucks. But that's very, very short term. The question on this one is very similar to a lot of the other altcoins. You have a very obvious area going on right here. You will naturally get a golden cross if it can just hold anywhere basically here or higher over the next few days. And that would look really, really good for trading sideways and up outside of this range with long-term targets, around 31.5 bucks and, very long-term around 40 to 41. Are we back? Are we back at it like a crack addict? Are we here? Are we good? It might be the storm. Let's see. Yeah, it's I think internet's working again. Okay, we're good. we're good. So hopefully you heard all that. Let me know if you didn't. But basically, sideways and down biscuits for bulls. That's most things in the market. We can get onto AMC now. AMC looking good actually here. We did say that this one was likely to bounce off this level. It looks significantly better than GameStop, for example. And I do think that this bounce gets extended a little bit more towards $53.50 over the next week or two here. Actually looks okay right there. If you're just looking at the daily, I don't know if you need to call this squeeze or not, but yeah, I do think that this one trades up from here, $53.50 to $54.50. Might even just be a general continuation with the way that the monthly looks, but at least decent for the daily. Multiple drives of regular bullish divergence and volatility increasing as price action confirms a macro higher low. Looks good. Actually looks pretty damn good there. Riley Naughton says, hey man, what's up man? I've been around since 2018. What the fuck? Well, you never said anything. Well, good to meet you officially, I suppose. Can you check out HNT daily weekly? I'm on the coin, looks bullish to me. Okay, let's see. HNT is what? I guess there's helium. Okay, all right. Yeah, this would be an example of another of another altcoin that looks generally good, especially compared to most of this market. It's only at a very high level right here. Short term does have potential hidden bullish divergence populating itself. If that does confirm with any sort of a closure here or higher at 51 minutes and 20 seconds, you're looking for a short term move back up to 25 and 20 cents or so. Look okay. If you're looking at a daily and weekly, let's start off with the weekly. Pretty good right here. I'm never going to be bearish on something that's making and closing on new all-time highs on the weekly. We did sell off on the 1 spot 414 right here. That's to be expected. We're already down at the 1 spot 272. If this is going to continue, we expect this to be actually the next next major low actually on the short-term time frames, and long-term over the next couple of months probably march its way up towards $30 plus. Daily. Yeah, daily. Again, no major issues on this one as long as you're above about 19.5. And short-term time frames, again, 22.5 would be the magical number right there, leading towards that 19.5 test. But until that happens, man, it ain't bad. One of the better charts we've seen today, actually. Okay, John says, hey, Krown, what's up, man? Can you check out Terra Virtua, TBK, okay, versus Bitcoin, okay. Yeah, we can try that. Here we go. Sloppy sideways. Oh, we got a sloppy sideways chart. I don't think I have a good opinion on this chart right here, man. It isn't a bit of a short-term upturn right around here. You do have a reversal, but man, this thing is floaty. Let's see. Let's go down to a short-term time frame. I kind of have the same thing to say about a lot of these charts, although this one more difficult just looking at Bitcoin pairing here. Best case scenario, I do think that this one goes sideways for a while. The more sideways that you see it for the longer time, the better. But you will have risk, or at least I would imagine you have a lot of risk below about 585 Satoshis. So if you do break that level, I would start to switch on to bearish. Until then, I guess you give it the benefit of the doubt because it is a daily trend right now. But other than that, I don't feel too compelled by this chart. Obvious breakout to the upside around the prior highs of this rally above about 750 Satoshis. But I would give the nod to the bulls here. This is a more bullish setup from a momentum oscillator perspective. But again, anywhere below that 850 or what was it, 580 level, 585 level, bad. Until then, sideways is good. Georgie, hey, what's up, Georgie? EWT, okay, sure. All right, this is gonna be the last one because my voice is absolutely fucking wrecked at this point. Dear Lord, man, dear fucking Lord. On Kuderp, time frame you're looking at here, man. Okay, no time frame given, just an EWT. Again, man, very, very similar chart to a lot of the other things that we have seen. This one actually does look like it wants to test a little bit of downside first, but we do have potential hidden bullish divergence already populating itself on the daily. Problem is your last daily low, higher low, is 956. So this thing can come all the way down to like 1083.5 and still be in a higher low structure, and that actually look pretty damn good. Let's see, maybe we look at it over here. USD, let's see what it's looking like right now. Well, that's an hourly. Hold on. Daily. Okay, daily is a little bit down. I am a little bit inclined to say maybe extremely short. Again, I don't know what time frame you're on right here. Short term, I do think it tests a little bit back up, like 1385 or so. But the second that you start to break below your current low structure at 1240 or so, I would look for a deeper retracement down to about 1090 to $11 or so and try for a higher low right there. Humongous risk on this one below about 955 or so. That's where I'd get very, very bearish on this one. But for short term, a little bit of sideways right here. Probably try some short-term upside from here, and then keep an eye on this. What was it, 12.5 level or so where you're at right now? Below there, problems until you actually break that. Sideways is good, I suppose, but not really looking for a move today, I expect. Anyways, I think this is a good place to end this stream, man. Holy fuck, my voice is absolutely wrecked. Jesus Christ. I'm going to be signing off now. Again, same old on Bitcoin right here. I do look at this as a little bit of a short-term local low right here, and probably does test back up somewhere around about 49 or so before anything else. However, if we do start to break below our current low structure, I would look for a little bit more than $1,000 move to the downside, and very likely another big bounce at around 46.7 or so. Where was it right here? Where was it? Until that happens, though, I still look at this as an overall uptrend. I don't have any major issues with this. It's more of a setup over the next, I'd say 7 to 9 days at this point. So yeah, I think we'll leave off right there. Problems obviously below about $45,000, but Bitcoin's still well and far away from there. That's where I would start to switch around to being a little bit more on the bearish side, and I mean not just a little bit more on the bearish side. I'd be very bearish below $45,000, or for bigger moves down to about 42. But for right now, sideways is the name of the game for the Boolaws. Bearaws need to make their move relatively soon. If they do take out this current low, I would be looking for, again, that next like $1,300 move to the downside, and very likely another bounce right there. But wouldn't get too ahead of myself right now, just because this market is moving a lot more slow than would have expected on a Wednesday. Anyways, with that said, I want to wish you well. Else is giving you a wave in the background. I am going to go rest my voice and maybe eat some food, maybe even some beef liver today. Ooh, that would sound really good. And with that said, take care, and wishing you the best of the best as always, sirs and sirs.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate, pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, find it, drop it, crack it, lose it, curse it, pay it, to it, pay it, bar it, chart it, hide it, fight it, deal it, seal it, and unlock it, back it, send it, change it, blend it, mine it, grind it, how it, list it, praise it, curse it, trash it, hash it, roll it, troll it, and upgrade it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, write it, code it, name it, read it, mine it, stack it, live it,